Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and we are live here on True School Sports. It is 8:54 p.m. We're live in prime time, and this ain't a live fight reaction. It's just your regular run-of-the-mill Tuesday night, right? Tuesday night in Dania Beach. But it's your boy BT. We're live here on True School Sports because we got something to discuss. We got something of great importance in the sport of boxing we must discuss, and it comes in the form of some breaking news. And that breaking news is, in fact, that Deontay Wilder has followed through with the next step in the Deontay Wilder Witness Protection Program. And it's been reported by a number of news outlets that he will, in fact, be rematching Luis Ortiz. Now, as you guys can see, I have the trash bag right here. I have the trash can right here because that's where that rematch belongs. It belongs in a trash can like this. And you know, I agree with that, and I think we can drink to that. That's why I got me a bottle of Echo Falls to wash away my sorrows of the Anthony Joshua fight not happening. Because this is getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. I'll drink to that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff going on with Deontay Wilder. But we're going to discuss everything regarding this breaking news because, quite honestly, it's not good news if you're a boxing fan. And you know, the thing that pisses me off, the thing that really pisses me off and grinds my gears about about this announcement, it's not so much that Deontay Wilder's fighting Luis Ortiz again. We fully understood for a while that this was coming. We fully understood for the longest time that Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder would be going the Luis Ortiz route. And if he beats Luis Ortiz, he'll probably going the Adam Kalnacki route. We understood these things. But the announcement isn't what pisses me off. What pisses me off is the timing. The timing is what pisses me off. Because right now, it's May the 28th, so we're what, 4 days out away from the Joshua fight? It's the timing of the Deontay Wilder Luis Ortiz announcement that pisses me off because, you know, as boxing fans, as fight fans, you know, there is no bigger fight right now than Anthony Joshua versus Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. And if Wilder had any sense, if Wilder had any sort of balls or charisma, he would be ringside. He'd be ringside this week at the Anthony Joshua, you know, American debut because let's have it right. Let's be honest. Anthony Joshua is in his home turf. He's in his home country. And what a statement it would be if Wilder was ringside and was serious about the words that have been spewed out of his mouth year after year after year. But he's not serious about the words that have been spewed out of his mouth year after year after year. It's all bullshit. And to decipher all the bullshit, we're going to go here through all the articles, through all the tweets here on True School Sports. You guys make sure there's 20 of you in here right now. And so shout out to all 20 of you. Y'all clearly have good taste in YouTube channels because you're here on True School Sports, one of the realest boxing channels in the world. But smash that like button. Like, smash that like button so YouTube knows that we're popping, we're here, we're good. You know, we got the trash can here because that's where this fight belongs. Also, let me know what city, what state, what continent you guys are watching from tonight, and I'll definitely, you know, shout you guys out. Now, I want to before I move further along, big shout out to my main man Henry Brown. Henry Brown actually sent me a super chat, so I want to get to his super chat because super chats do in fact take priority. Here's what Henry Brown says: Briggs fight on the free undercard. He wants Wilder. I messaged him on Instagram, but Wilder is running from competitive fights. He wants an easy paycheck. Well, Henry, I'm gonna just give you some inside info about Shannon Briggs. You know, I was actually at the heavyweight factory today, the gym that Shannon Briggs trains for. You know, I was training, you know, your boy BT, you know, I don't want to show you guys too much, but, you know, we getting in shape. We getting in shape. Riddick Bowe is working helping me out. Riddick Bowe is working with me. Riddick Bowe actually wrapped my hands today, so big shout out to Riddick Bowe for helping me. But, you know, Shannon Briggs is supposed to train today at the gym. He hasn't been at the gym in like 4 days. He's right now, Shannon's just training to lose weight. There is no telling whether he'll ever fight competitively again. He's about 40 pounds overweight right now. He's weighing 280 pounds. So he's not going to fight Wilder, so I wouldn't believe what Shannon tells you. But as far as Wilder running away from the best fights in the division, I would definitely agree with that. So yeah, that's that. And I think you said something else, Henry. Let me get to the other switch chat. You said, let's go, champ. AJ will KO Wilder soon. I think it's going to be a great fight if it ever happens. Like, I wish I could say when it happens, but we got to say if because we don't know how long Wilder is going to be stuck in the bowels of the Deontay Wilder Witness Protection Program. But I wanted to dissect what was tweeted and just all the reports coming out here. Here we go. So we're gonna go to Twitter, and we're gonna go to Wilder's own personal Twitter account. So here's what Wilder said himself. He says this. He says, "Wilder versus Ortiz 2. To all my fans, I want to announce that Luis Ortiz and I have signed for a rematch with a date in sight to be announced shortly. All my controversial fights must get dealt with ASAP. Hashtag Bomb Squad." Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. Controversial. There was no controversy in that fight. He won the fight fair and square. Ortiz is a good heavyweight. We respect Ortiz, but nobody wants to see that shit again. Controversial fight? What controversy was there? You kidding me? Come on, man. So that's what he's saying there. If you guys haven't seen his post, it's on his Twitter account. I believe it's probably on his Instagram account as well, and as well as Facebook. So go check out what Wilder said so you guys know I'm not lying. But it's a waste of time because right now you could go fight one name, one face, and become undisputed, but you choose to fight an old Luis Ortiz, a guy that you beat already. So I don't know what he's getting on talking about controversy, but so that was what was reported from Wilder himself out of his own mouth. Then if we look at Lance Priegmar of the LA Times, he just dropped an article. Like literally, he just dropped an article, and I was reading through it, and basically I'll get to it right now. Lance Priegmar stated that the Deontay Wilder Luis Ortiz fight right now that they're finalized. It's pretty much been finalized, and they're looking at September the 7th, Staples Center, which is obviously is where Wilder had his last big fight, which was against Tyson Fury. So he's looking to go back to LA. That's where he's gonna fight Ortiz. They'll probably sell like 10,000 tickets, and they'll put it out on a date where there's a lot of other sporting events going on, and they'll sell like 8,000 tickets, and they'll say, yeah, he only sold 8,000 tickets, but you gotta consider there was football on, and there was baseball, and there was this. So yeah, considering all things, it was great. Because that's always happened with Wilder and his TV ratings. His TV ratings aren't up to par with where he should be, and they grade him on a curve. It's almost like Deontay Wilder when we talk about him and how he's like, and not him as a fighter, but him as far as his star power and his drawing power. It's all graded on a curve. It's almost like in high school when they had the No Child Left Behind Act, and they graded kids on a curve and they would pass them on to the next grade. Like Anthony Joshua, he sold roughly 17,000 to 18,000 tickets. It's going to be a packed house at MSG this week. They said they got roughly 7,000 to 8,000 Brits that are going to be there. But even if it's 7,000 to 8,000 British people, that still means there's roughly about 10,000 to 12,000 Americans that are going to be there, which is about on par with what Deontay Wilder did in his last fight against Dominic Breazeale. And this is his first fight in America, and he's not even American. So what does it say about Wilder? Okay, what does it say about Wilder? What does it say about his team? What does it say about him? And like, you gotta look at these things. But that's the like right now they're looking at September the 7th. They're looking at Staples Center, and that's just what it is. So they're gonna continue to go that route, and it's just sad, man, because if Joshua loses this week or he loses to Ortiz, let's say Ortiz just like rises from the abyss somehow and he just gets this crazy knockout over Deontay Wilder, or he somehow beats him, then there goes the heavyweight division. There goes the biggest fight in heavyweight boxing. There goes the one fight that would make the world stop and watch, Joshua versus Wilder. So I'm very upset about not so much the news, because I expected it, but the timing of the news, because it's on Joshua Ruiz fight week, and it's Wilder being an attention whore, and we're going to call a spade here on True School Sports when we talk about Deontay Wilder being an attention whore for the Joshua fight. So that's that. Anthony Joshua ahead of his fight with Andy Ruiz this week. He had a lot to say about just Wilder. So I mean, you guys have probably heard this, but I'll read it for myself, and I want to talk about it myself because I haven't documented this on my channel yet. So Anthony Joshua spoke on his plans after the Andy Ruiz fight, and here's what he said. He said, I quote, "We're gonna go straight to Wilder. They should sit down to us face to face. That would be good. I think they should sit us down face to face about what the issues are, man to man, and get the fight sorted this year." So look, Anthony Joshua, he wants this fight, man. He wants this fight. And he's willing to do whatever it takes, put his ego to the side, and grab his balls, tap into the inner testosterone he has and make the fight with Deontay Wilder, to make the fight for undisputed, to make, give Deontay Wilder the chance to have one name, one face, one champion. But no, Wilder wants to stay in witness protection. He wants to fight, Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz shouldn't even be boxing. Luis Ortiz at this present moment, Luis Ortiz should be training the next great Cuban amateurs. He shouldn't even be boxing right now. He's like 55 years old. Okay, but that's what he said. So I'll read it again for you guys. He said, straight to Wilder, they should sit us down face to face. That would be good. I think they should sit us down face to face and talk about what the issues are, man to man, and get the fight sorted out this year, 2019, not 2022, not 2011, not 2055, not 3001. No, 2019. Because this fight, you guys have been following me here on YouTube. A lot of you guys have been subscribed to me for quite some time. I've been talking about this damn fight since after the Stavern rematch, and that was like in December of 2017. So we've been going on for months about this, and it just continues to stall and stall and stall. So that's what it is. Anthony Joshua then went on by commenting about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Here's what he said about Anthony Joshua about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. This is Anthony Joshua. He said, I quote, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder have been professional for 11 years, and in their whole careers, they were fighting cab drivers and bin men. I think they now realize there's this young kid coming up at a quicker pace. We need to step our game up. So Anthony Joshua is putting the pressure on both Fury and Wilder to step their games up. And yeah, that's what it is. So the September the 7th is the date on hold for Wilder versus Joshua. Wilder versus Ortiz rematch. Josh is making his debut this week, so the timing of this is what pisses me off more than anything. So that's that. But Anthony Joshua also spoke to, who was it? Or no, Eddie Hearn. My bad. Eddie Hearn spoke to Boxing Social, and Eddie Hearn stated in a Boxing Social interview as well recently that Tyson Fury has agreed to fight Dillian White for the WBC mandatory after his fight with Tom Schwartz. So if he can do that, maybe those two fight for the WBC mandatory spot, and then the winner fights Joshua. But I highly doubt that's going to be the case, because Fury's with ESPN, and he's posturing himself in a different way these days. So that's that. But Joshua also piggybacked up what Eddie Hearn said, and he said, look, they don't need to fight for diamond belts and all this stuff and mandatory spots. He said, if any one of those two want to fight for the undisputed title, you can just go directly to me. So Anthony Joshua wants these fights, man. He's yet to fight a prime A-level fighter. Let's have it right, but it's not through his own fault. He's been trying to get these guys in the ring, and they just don't want anything to do with him. So that's just my take on the whole situation. But I want to get to some of your guys' comments, because I'm roughly 13 minutes in of straight rambling here on True School Sports. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. I'm gonna get your comments now. So let me open up my tab and see what you fine folks are saying out there in the boxing world. Okay, let's see. We got fraud. Everyone needs to boycott his fights. I agree, Byron 1. I would agree. David Graves, what's up, champ? How you doing? Duke Oden, what's up? He says he's already getting a pass from some channels. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to go watch any of the other channels' videos on this, but you know how it goes. You know how it goes. Yeah, he did it so AJ can't call him out. That makes sense. Yeah, there's no controversy. There's no controversy. I don't understand why he's saying there's controversy and other stuff. So I just don't know, man. I really don't know. Boxing is so fixed, man. We need to see AJ, Wilder, Fury, Usyk fighting each other. Otherwise, it's bullshit. I agree. I agree, man. Shihi, what's up, champ? He says, I only watch TSS and Tyan Booth. Hey, those are two great channels. That means you got good taste, I keep the bottle of Echo Falls handy on me so that we give praise to Tyan Booth, and it is what it is, man. But LOL, Wilder never wanted smoke at the Klitschko fight. Exactly. He went to the Klitschko fight. He was there with Tony Bellew. He was talking more about fighting Tony Bellew than he was Anthony Joshua. And you know it's funny, every time Wilder responds to someone calling him out, like for example when he fought Dominic Brazil, he said, "Well, I had to fight Dominic Brazil because he asked for this." Remember you guys remember when Wilder said that? He said, "I fought Dominic Brazil because he asked for this." And then so Anthony Joshua has been asking for it for like a year and a half, and here we are, still ducking Anthony Joshua, still. So I mean, I don't know, man. And I would agree with you, JC20. Ortiz has been old. He's fought a string of cannon fodder opposition. You know, Travis Kaufman, Christian Hammer, all this stuff. So, do we really want to see that? No. Why do Wilder fans keep making up for this guy? I honestly don't know, man. Look, I know there's probably a lot of people in here from the UK because I get a lot of people from the UK in my chats. Just so you guys know, to my UK subscribers that are watching this right now, I will be in the UK December the 4th. You guys get a video on that coming out on Saturday, but I'll be in the UK December the 4th. But anyway, they keep making up for this guy, and he honestly sometimes he's like, I don't know. I don't want to call Wilder a disgrace to American boxing because he's a fantastic fighter, but the way he moves, the way he stalls this fight, it just pisses me off because like we want to see it this year. What's the point of marinating it anymore? Like, you're gonna make money regardless, and if the first fight is any good, you'll make more money in the rematch. I mean, this event is gonna be so big that they're gonna have to do it in Vegas or New York, and then one in the UK. It's too big not to. So I don't understand. I really don't understand. But he's sometimes Wilder when he don't like. I like Wilder and I want to get behind him, but sometimes he makes it so hard as an American to do that. Henry Brown, can you speak on the 3-fight deal that Wilder signed? So that means we won't see AJ fight for at least a year and a half, which Wilder is getting older. Yeah, well, he's supposed to fight, I believe, the Brazil fight. I'm not sure if the Brazil fight was the first fight on that deal, but if it is, you have Brazil, you have Ortiz, now you have Konaki, and then probably Fury, because they're gonna want to do it. You know they're gonna want to do a Fury rematch, which I wouldn't mind because the first fight was so great. It was a modern day heavyweight classic, but yeah, I mean. The thing is too. The thing I think people are failing to understand too with Wilder is he's 33 years old. He's had multiple hand surgeries. He's really like he gets hurt every couple fights because he doesn't rotate his punches properly. I mean, he got injured in the Areola fight because he wasn't rotating his punches properly. So he's one horrible punch from really messing up his hands and becoming an average fighter. You know, having brittle hands, maybe hitting that pain threshold to where he's forced to get out the sport. That's where he's at right now. So I don't think people are quite understanding this. Okay, so he's actually risking a lot himself. Boxing is a risk in general, but he's risking a lot himself by not taking this fight, by not trying to. You know, if you're not gonna fight Fury or Joshua, then fight freaking Dillian White. Like at least give us that consolation prize, because that's a fight that would be really, really good for the fight fans. And if he was to be Dillian White, okay, maybe it's not Fury, it's not Joshua, but at least we say to ourselves, damn, well, look at Wilder. He beat Dillian White, one of the best fighters out there. You know, one of the creme of the division. You know, look at Deontay Wilder, showing the world, beating one of the division's better fighters out there, and he would have a chance to do it in more sensational fashion than AJ, which would be a speaking point for him. So I don't understand why you can want to fight Ortiz again when you can fight Dillian White and you beat him in sensational fashion, and it puts you in a better position. But you know, what do I know? I'm just a kid from Dania. Anyway, Mr. Boxing Today. Big shout out to my main man, Mr. Boxing Today. If you guys are not subscribed to Mr. Boxing Today, he is the authority on heavyweight boxing here on YouTube. Please go to his channel and subscribe. But here's what Mr. Boxing Today says. He says, "I'm sure your pops is liking Ortiz getting another shot." Yeah, I'm supposed to see him sometime in the next hour or so. He might even come by. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's gonna be happy for Ortiz, but even he would probably say, you know, what the hell's going on here? We want to see Joshua. The last super chat. Okay, I'll look at it right now, Henry. Let's see the last super chat. Wilder 3-fight deal. Ortiz, Konaki, Fury, AJ in 2020. Yeah, see, if it's AJ in 2022, that's horrible. That's horrible because you're running the massive risk of really getting this fight to not even happen. You know, you can get knocked out, you could lose, you could have another hand injury. There's so many things that can happen. AJ could lose, AJ could, you know, there's so many things that can happen. So I don't like the fact that they're marinating this, but that's what they do over there at PBC. They marinate fights. They do all this nonsense, and that's why Al Heyman and PBC are about to. That's why Al Heyman's gonna have to sell PBC soon. So that's just what it is. Let's see. White should be fighting AJ Wilder next if he gets past Oscar Rivas. Yeah, and Oscar Rivas is not a gimme. You know, Oscar Rivas is a competent, capable, good fighter. You know, we saw what Oscar Rivas did to Brian Jennings. Obviously, we know White is of higher quality than Brian Jennings, but still, Brian Jennings is a quality heavyweight, and Rivas has good amateur pedigree to boot. So, you know, you can't count him out in a fight like that. I'm going to watch the fight and support it. However, I would rather see a new, fresh fight. Okay, the voice of reason, Mr. Boxing today. You know, Mr. Boxing today is very rational. He's not like me. Me, I'm always like, you know, I can be very, very spirited and to go one side or the other. I try not to, but it happens sometimes. But he's right. I can say the majority of the boxing world, we want to see a newer, fresher fight. And the fact that we're getting something we just got last year, and it's a known fact. Like, it's a known fact that Luis Ortiz is a declined version of himself. We've seen that in his fights. You know, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he just go the full 12 with Christian Hammer? I'm not mistaken. I think it was the full 12 rounds with Christian Hammer. So, if you're going the full 12 rounds with a Christian Hammer and you don't have that extra bit of quality to stop the Christian Hammers of the world, it's a big red flag, and I'm expecting a demolition job when Wilder fights Ortiz. Because you gotta understand too, Wilder is getting better as well. You know, Wilder may not be improving a ton from a mechanical standpoint, but from a mental standpoint, from the things that he believes, from the things he says, mentally he's on another level right now. And I think that people aren't quite understanding that right now. He's not the most mechanically sound fighter in the world, and yes, he can't mess with Joshua or Fury from a technical boxing standpoint, but from a mental standpoint, he really believes the things that he's saying. And when you get a fighter as dangerous as him, who punches like him, who believes in himself as much as he believes in himself, he becomes a hard guy to beat. I personally want to see Wilder BS. Charlie Z too. What do you guys think? Yeah, why not? You know, the funny thing is Charlie Zelenoff lasted a bit longer than Dominic Brazil. So, I mean, take that for what it's worth. But, yeah, like, this dude, Ortiz, took Christian Hammer 10 rounds. It took him 10 rounds to get, and it didn't even get him out of there. So, I'm not really encouraged by it, and just not happy about it. The only rematch I want to see at this moment is Wilder versus Fury. Hammer isn't the easiest guy to look great against, just ask Povetkin. No, you got a point. He's one of those awkward guys that you got to have the extra bit of quality to get him out of there. And like you said, Povetkin was a guy that couldn't even get him out of there. But if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Boxing today, I believe Fury got him out of there. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. You know, today I spent my afternoon today at the Heavyweight Factory. I was training today, right? Because you know, I go to the Heavyweight Factory. And I do interviews every now when I'm there. I do interviews, but I train a couple times a week there. And you know, Riddick Bowe. I was talking to him today about Wilder. I talked to Holyfield about Wilder, and all these guys. You know, Bowe, like, it's funny. So I talked to Riddick Bowe, and Riddick Bowe really rates Anthony Joshua. Like, this Riddick Bowe believes, he swears up and down Anthony Joshua is the best heavyweight in the world. He says Anthony Joshua reminds him of himself, and he thinks Anthony Joshua is going to be too technically sound, too skilled, too tight for a guy like Deontay Wilder. As to a guy like Holyfield, you know, he thinks Deontay Wilder is beating the brakes off all these guys. So, you know, these top heavyweights, they have you know, a big opinion of this fight. You look very much in shape. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am in pretty good shape today. Today I did at the gym. I did about 8 rounds on the bag, 8 3-minute rounds. So, you know, I'm getting there. I just got my mouthpiece, so I'm gonna be sparring soon for the first time in a year. I want to eventually gradually build myself up to where I can spar with pros. You know, I have some friends who are pros, and I want to eventually get to that. Michael Foster, Riddick Bowe. I've actually done interviews on my channel. You can go look it up. I've done interviews on my channel where he explains why he threw the belt in the trash can. And I did a video on that recently about him throwing the belt in the trash can and the context of that. I don't know if you guys saw it, but if you didn't, you should go check it out, because I was just piggybacking off of what was said about Bowe from Lewis. Lewis said he wanted to slap Bowe, and I was saying, well, I wish you would have that same energy in 1992. Fury and Wak got him out of there, but Ortiz and Povetkin couldn't styles make fights. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and then, you know, there's guys that Povetkin and Ortiz, I'm sure, could stop or have stopped that Fury and Wak I wouldn't be able to massage it because of style. So you know, boxing's not very many people understand boxing, Mr. Boxing today on the level that we do, especially yourself. So I mean, I'm just not encouraged by Ortiz because it's not even so much the power as well. It's also the fact that with him, it's like he seems to have lost a lot of durability. Like I watch him fight sometimes, and he's pressing forward, and then after the second or fourth or fifth round, he'll stop moving his shoulders. He'll get a little stiff. He gasses out quicker. So you know, I'm not really encouraged from what I'm seeing from Ortiz right now. I'll be honest with you, I'm not. But I hope for the best. I hope it's a good fight. You know, I'll cover it because I have to cover it because I have a YouTube channel. But and you know, I like watching Wilder fight, but I'm just calling a spade, man. So yeah, for the 35 of you that are here, who are funneling in and out, make sure you smash that like button because we're gonna be here for I don't know how long. Smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. You know, Deontay Wilder, for those of you who don't know, the news just broke. Like it just broke that Deontay Wilder will be having his rematch with Luis Ortiz, his next fight, and then that'll be September 7th in LA at the Staples Center. That's the date, that's the venue, that's everything being targeted at the moment. So that's just what it is. Arsenal Maniac, big shout out to Arsenal Maniac, and good luck to Arsenal in the Europa League final, I believe, on Thursday. He said, "I put my money on you. I put my money on you on beating either one of 78 Sports, Barbershop, or Blue Blood. My money is on you. Get this fight done. As A-side, what percentage will you offering those frauds?" Well, yeah. As far as those guys, I mean, look, I personally met Barbershop myself. I met him one time 3 years ago at the Roman Gonzalez Cuadras fight in LA. That dude doesn't know anything about boxing. He's just a guy that was a failed politician and pretty much like he was a failed politician who couldn't make it in politics. So he comes to boxing and tries to politicize boxing because he knows people in boxing. So that's what it is there. 78's a little bit more rational than those guys, but I would agree. I think I would ice every one of those guys in a boxing debate. He'll definitely beat Blue Blood. He's about 5 feet nothing. No, we're all fans. Look, I love boxing. I'm a Joshua fan. I like Joshua. I like Wilder. I like Fury. That's the funny thing about all this. People think I just hate I hate Wilder. I hate Joshua. No, I like them all. I mean, obviously, I lean more towards Fury because I think he's the best in the world. I like him. I think even more so than Wilder, and in some cases even Joshua. You know, he's made concessions to fight guys in their backyards, and he fought Klitschko. You know, when he became champion, and then, you know, he fought Wilder coming off the couch basically, and so that's just what it is. I like Fury. I just think he's got balls, man, and a lot of fighters, they like balls. Mr. Boxing today, he says, "I fucks with all three of those guys and you." I appreciate that, man. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and just shit on all those guys and say that I don't like some of their videos because I do watch. I watch everybody's channels on YouTube. Like, you guys would be surprised how much YouTube content I consume. Like, I watch T Streets and Just Boxing Today's and Montero Unboxings and all kinds of channels. I watch all kinds of channels. Barbershop puts out some solid videos because he does get good access. 78 has put out videos in the past I've liked, like his video about Michael Nunn I really liked. And then Blue Blood, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really watch Blue Blood like that. I never really got into Blue Blood, but you know, that's just what it is. He challenged Ness from the Boxing Boys, and Ness looks shook. He's like the size of YB. Who challenged Ness? YB, the LDVC Slayer. He challenged Ness. You know what's funny, guys? So I'm gonna tell you a story. So I train I train a couple times a week at the Heavyweight Factory, and a lot of times I get a chance. Anytime I hit the bag, Riddick Bowe always sees me hitting the bag. Like, Riddick Bowe's like my guy. We're good. Me and him are good friends. And it's funny today. I'm horrible at wrapping my hands, and Riddick Bowe actually wrapped my hands today. Like, Riddick Bowe wrapped my hands today, and Riddick Bowe will see me on the heavy bag. And I remember the last time he saw me hitting the heavy bag, he told me, he's like, "BT, you hit this heavy bag like heavyweight. Like, you punch very hard for your size." And I do not gonna lie to you, I punch pretty hard for my size, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, a lot of these guys never stepped in the ring. A lot of these guys don't know anything about boxing, and a lot of these guys just, they're fanboys, man. They don't really love boxing. It's like I can look at Wilder. I can appreciate Wilder for what he is. I could appreciate Joshua for what he is. I could appreciate Fury for what he is. But I have my opinion on who I think is the best. See, I can decipher these things. Um, Andy Ruiz, KO, AJ, and then Schwartz unify the division. That's right. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Why not? Let's see. Tyan Booth could beat everybody on YouTube. I mean, well, maybe he could. We don't know, man. He took the Eubank fight on 8 days' notice. I definitely wish I could see some of these dudes in real life. Yeah, man, I've met almost every YouTube channel you can name that goes to these fights regularly. I've met them all in person. Ellie, Dante, Radio Raheem, Marcos Villegas, all these guys. What height, what weight, and what height are you, True School Sports? Okay, well, I'm not a very big guy. I'm like 5'5". So I'm 5'5" and I weigh 130 solid. I'm a solid 130. But everybody that I've ever like sparred with or done any sort of work with, they've always said I punch above my weight class. Let's just put it like that. Counterpunch, Bruce Vane, Sporting Icons, Casual Boxing, Myra and Magnus are cool dudes. Do you follow any of their stuff? Counterpunch, I know him. I don't really follow stuff like that though, but I've seen some videos. Sporting Icons, I'm subscribed to him, but I don't watch like a lot of his videos. Casual Boxing Talk I watch on and off. The only guy that you named of those people that I watch like regularly is my main man, 50 grand, Bruce Vane. I love Bruce Vane. That's my guy. I love Bruce Lane to bits. One channel I've been beginning to watch a lot is boxing with Ad or ADE. I don't know how to say his name, but it's like ADE or Ad. I don't know, but I like him. Did you box as an amateur? No, I didn't. I never boxed as an amateur, but I sparred like tons of rounds, like hundreds of rounds in the gym. So I never was an amateur, but I have experience in the gym. You know. I wish I could meet trolls in real life. Yeah, bro. If Mr. Boxing today met these trolls in real life, you know, Mr. Boxing today is a cool guy. Like he's a cool guy. He's like one of those chill, like laid back Midwest dudes. But you could just tell when he hits the bag, and you could just tell from just how he is that he's not one of them dudes you want to fuck with. Like shout out to him. A lot of people would want that smoke with Mr. Boxing today. Yeah. Ring IQ is the best channel. Dude is educated and hilarious. I like Ring IQ. Big shout out to Julius, but he ain't the best. That's me. I'm the best. Let's go, champ. Bro, do you still feel Hearn in Matchroom ducking the undisputed fight? I recall that was your inclination a while ago. Oh, he's talking about Mr. Boxing today. Yeah, Boxing Talk with Ad is a great channel. Do you watch Cali Ligma? No, I never heard of him. Have you heard of the Broadway Boxing Gym in Watts, California? That's my old gym. I boxed amateur with Rico Ramos, Lamar Brewster, and I sparred Shane Mosley when I was 16, Lamar Brewster for the Klitschko fight. That's dope, Henry. I never heard of that gym. Or no, I never been to it, but I feel like I've heard of it. So hey, big shout out to you, man. You put some real work in the ring. I'll tell you guys about my ambitions boxing wise, like personally. I want to continue to get like in my best shape possible. I'm not trying to fight or anything, but I've always wanted to spar a pro. Like, and one pro that I want to spar is one of my friends. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Logan Yoon. You guys ever heard of Logan Yoon? Logan Yoon is a 140-pound prospect from Hawaii. He was like a 10-time amateur national champion. He's 16-0 with like, I'm gonna say 13 knockouts. That's who I want to spar, cause we're like around the same weight and size. You should spar Charlie Zell now, bro. He's 279 and all. I don't know, champ. I don't know if I can handle that smoke. I don't know if I can handle Charlie Z. But yeah, let's see. I wanted to also take this time, guys, to kind of just run through the Anthony Joshua undercard. You guys give me your take and input on it as well, because I really want to talk about the undercard. You know, there's some interesting, you know, fights on the undercard for Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. And you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Eddie Hearn has actually done. I think for this undercard, he's put his best foot forward to make a good impression in New York. So we'll go through the undercard fight by fight. So the first fight on the undercard will be U.S. amateur standout who just turned pro, Austin Ammo Williams. He'll be fighting a guy by the name of Quadrir Jenkins. I don't really know much about Quadrir Jenkins. I know Austin Ammo Williams is a highly touted U.S. amateur, and he just made his pro debut, and Matchroom's putting a lot of money behind him and stock behind him. Should be a good fight, you know, good stable fight for him. It looks like it's a showcase on paper, but you know, I don't really know much about quads you're drinking, so I can't really say much on that. Joshua Buatsi, a light heavyweight prospect. One of the very few prospects in boxing I can say without a shadow of doubt will be a world champion. I mean, the guy is fantastic, an exceptional fighter. I think he can come up right now to the top of the light heavyweight division and beat the brakes off of a lot of top light heavyweights. If he fought Artur Beterbiev, I think he's beating Beterbiev. I think a fight between him and Vosnik is like 55-45, maybe in favor of Vosnik. I think he beat a lot of fighters. I think Bivol and him would be a competitive fight right now. I think he'd probably beat Kovalev, and I love Kovalev. Like, he's that damn good. On BoxRec, it says that his fight is to be announced, but I saw on Instagram that he's supposedly fighting Marco Antonio Paraban, who many of us may remember was a guy that Andre Ward was trying to get in the ring years ago when Andre Ward was on his comeback trail. But Paraban hasn't fought in like 2 years. If that is the case, it is the best showcase fight that Buatsi can have, because Paraban is a very basic boxer. He's not a hard guy to break down. So I can see Buatsi, just stopping him in sensational fashion. So, that would be a good fight. Josh Kelly, he's making his American debut also on this card. And Josh Kelly, he'll be fighting Ray Robinson. And Ray Robinson's coming fresh off of that. In my opinion, I thought it was a controversial draw between him and Kavaluskis on the Vosnik undercard, because I thought Kavaluskis beat him, but Ray Robinson, I would say to date, is probably the best fighter he's fought, because Ray Robinson is he's quality. Like, he's at a certain level. He's not like an elite welterweight, and he's not even like a top contender, but he's still at a respectable level to where, you gotta be on your P's and Q's to beat him. He's a tall guy, rangy guy, knows how to use his jab, knows how to move, slick. And if Kelly takes him for granted, it's a fight where he could get outboxed, and I don't see that happening. I think Kelly's just too slick, too strong, too fast, and too confident at the moment. But this is boxing. Funnier things have happened, and Ray Robinson is a well-schooled amateur, and you can't see with this guy. So it's a fight where Kelly should look good, but if the moment and the stage is too big for him, then he'll be in a dogfight. So that should be a good one. You have also Katie Taylor fighting Delphine Persoon. Now, what might steal the show, in a fight for undisputed at lightweight. Katie Taylor is looking to stick her flag in the ground as the greatest women's boxer of all time, and this fight right here is the biggest fight to date for her. For those of you who don't know, Delphine Persoon is a bona fide top 5 pound-for-pound fighter in women's boxing. She's great. She's 43-1. She's from Germany. She's been a quality fighter her entire career, and these are the kind of fights Katie Taylor needs to really cement her legacy. Obviously, I think the fight for Katie Taylor, like the #1 fight for Katie Taylor, is. Oh, my bad. Thank you, Belgium. You're right, Belgium. Delphine Persoon is from Belgium. But these are the kind of fights that she needs, and for me personally, I want to see her fight Amanda Serrano. That's like the fight for me in all women's boxing. I think that fight would do great numbers. I think that's probably one of the only cards in women's boxing that could actually headline and do well. Just because Katie Taylor's Irish, she brings a lot of Brits with her. Serrano's Puerto Rican. It could do well at the box office. But overall, this fight right here, Katie Taylor, Delphine Persoon, it's probably, I don't want to say the first test of Katie Taylor's career, but it's the first test at this level. She is the best pound-for-pound women's fighter in the world at the moment. For me personally, I have her and Amanda Serrano are like 1A and 1B. Clarissa Shields is like number 2. Because I think Clarissa Shields hasn't fought the best yet. She hasn't truly fought the creme de la creme. I know she fought Christina Hammer, and that was the best that her division had to offer, but that's the point. She ain't really fought. Like, if she fights Cecilia Brækhus, then we're talking. But until then, I think she's number 2. I got Taylor and Serrano 1A and 1B. That's how I see it. A lot of you guys, a lot of people say Amanda Serrano is terrified of Katie Taylor. That Katie Taylor would ice Amanda Serrano, and that Amanda Serrano cherry picks her fights. Look, Amanda Serrano is one of the only women in women's boxing that has that one-hitter quitter, and that makes her dangerous for any fighter in the division. So I can't wait for that fight. She signed a contract to fight her, and she's still trying to duck her. Are you talking about Serrano versus Katie Taylor? What? I didn't hear about that, but it happens frequently in boxing, so it's not surprising. But hopefully that's a fight that in the future could happen. I've heard a lot of bad things about Amanda Serrano from people in the boxing world. Like when I first started boxing years ago, the gym I used to train at here in South Florida was Canino's boxing gym here in Dania. It's the only gym here in Dania Beach. and it's ran by former women's world champion Bonnie Canino and Yvonne Reese, who was also a women's fighter as well. And I talk to Yvonne all the time, and she was telling me about some of the stuff that Amanda Serrano does behind closed doors, like how they'll go find a girl who hasn't been training and they'll give her like 4 days notice and beat the brakes off of her, like stuff like that. So I hear a lot of bad things about Amanda Serrano, but I met Amanda Serrano for myself back in 2017, and she was nice to me, and I had no problems with her. So hopefully that fight can happen. But yeah, Katie Taylor versus Delphine Persoon, a great fight for not just boxing but definitely women's boxing. One of the fights that needed to happen for women's boxing, and it might steal the show. It's that good of a fight. So you had that fight. Then you have Chris Algieri, on the comeback trail, fighting Tommy Coyle. And I like this fight because I don't think either one of these guys is gonna win a world title. I mean, Algieri's won a world title before, but I'm saying I don't see him winning a world title again. He's not winning a world title at 140. Algieri's not winning a world title at 140. But he's a good fighter. He's a capable fighter, very experienced. Tommy Coyle is a solid fighter. He seems to be improving. I know his last fight was on the Andrade undercard. He fought Ryan Kolzewski, whatever his name is, the guy from Boston, and he beat him. So this is a good fight. I think style-wise, this would be a really good fight. Algieri would be up for it. He's a native New Yorker. Getting to fight at Madison Square Garden, so it'd be a big moment for him. Coyle, it'll be his, New York City Madison Square Garden debut, so I'm sure he'll have a lot to fight for as well. But this is a fight. This is probably one of the fights on the undercard that I'm the most excited. Probably the fight on the undercard I'm most excited for is Algieri versus Tommy Coyle. I think both these guys are gonna put on a great show, and it'll be probably one of the fights of the night. So you have that fight. And co-main event, you have Caleb Smith, defending his WBA and WBC Diamond title against Hassan Mandam. Now, Hassan Mandam, a solid fighter. He's coming off of I believe he beat Martin Murray. He had a close fight with Martin Murray his last fight. Before that, he had 2 fights with Ryota Murata. So he's a quality fighter. Always been a quality fighter. But Caleb Smith is on another level right now. Caleb Smith has a lot to fight for at the moment. Caleb Smith, he wins this fight and looks sensational. We could be talking about Caleb Smith potentially fighting Canelo Alvarez, and that's big for his career. That could be a massive fight because there have been talks, there have been reports that potentially Caleb Smith versus Canelo could be at Wembley Stadium, and Canelo at Wembley Stadium. Could you imagine the scenes in England if Canelo came to Wembley? I mean, it would be insane. So that's definitely a fight that I'd like to see if Caleb can get to this. But as for the Caleb Smith Hassan Mandam fight, and Dam is a durable fighter. He's someone that could give him problems if he's not able to make the weight and he's having any sort of weight problems. I could see this as a trap fight for Caleb Smith, but I think he'll win a tough, close, not close, but I think win a tough decision and move on with his career. And then the main event obviously is Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz. It's a fight that none of us expected because AJ was supposed to fight Jarrell Miller. That didn't happen. And then Anthony Joshua, now he's fighting Andy Ruiz, and some people say this is the entire fight. It's funny. I was talking to Evander Holyfield today at the Heavyweight Factory, and Holyfield was talking to me about because Holyfield sparred Andy Ruiz Jr. when Andy Ruiz was 20 and Holyfield was towards the latter stages of his career, and he was telling me that Andy Ruiz was one of the hardest punches that ever hit him. Like he told me this. Evander Holyfield told me this. Like, a man that's been there with George Foreman, Riddick Bowe, all these great punchers in box history. He told me that Andy Ruiz was one of the most devastating punchers he ever got in the ring with. And that, so I was surprised when he said that. And he said that Andy Ruiz, when he sparred Andy Ruiz, that was when he knew he had to call it quits and he had to, not box. So, Andy Ruiz always been a talented fighter. When we look at Andy Ruiz, this is a guy that not too long ago just he was in a fight with Joseph Parker and almost, he really, probably a lot of people's eyes, should have been a world champion, and that's what it was. But now he's getting his chance to make history, to become the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world, and what a way to do it. And if he can do it against Anthony Joshua, but Anthony Joshua has been maturing on a fight-by-fight basis. The growth we've seen from Anthony Joshua over his last 5 fights has been astronomical, and I would anticipate that to continue. So I expect AJ to struggle for the first 3 to 4 rounds, but in the middle rounds, I believe he will show that extra bit of quality. You will see the jab begin to land. You will see him begin to land the right hand. And I'm gonna go with a 7th round stoppage for Anthony Joshua. You know, I think this is really going to be a statement victory for him. So 7-round stoppage Anthony Joshua. That's my prediction. But overall, good undercard. You know, looking really forward to what will be going on. You know, in the later on this week. So you have that. Mission Boxing today says Holyfield versus Reese sparring is on my page, bro. Yeah. You know what's funny? I heard Holyfield talk about that sparring for so long. I never watched the video, so I might need to go watch that for myself. Yeah, because he was talking about it a lot today when I saw him. Andy Ruiz is far better than Brazil. Do you agree? Yeah, I would say this. I would say that in terms of maybe opposition, maybe Andy Ruiz doesn't have as good of a resume as Brazil, as funny as that sounds, but in terms of the fighter, what they're bringing to the ring, yeah, Andy Ruiz is definitely a better fighter than Brazil. I would class him higher. Better puncher, he has more ring craft, more ring savvy. There's no two ways about it. Let's see, I missed some comments. Let me go up. I know one guy was asking about Daniel Dubois. What was Daniel Dubois? What do you say about Daniel Dubois? Daniel Dubois became a champion 4 years. Oh, you asked me what I think about him? Well, I think Daniel Dubois is really good. He's got big. He's big and he's physical. He's got a good frame for heavyweight. He's got solid fundamentals. He's got a good base as a fighter. I think he's the guy that could definitely not just be a heavyweight champion, but be a heavyweight world champion, a dominant one. I see him kind of cut from the same cloth of like an Anthony Joshua, a Riddick Bowe. I'm not saying he's as good as those guys, but I'm saying when I see him, I see him cut from that kind of a bill. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing him against Nathan Gorman. You know, Nathan Gorman's gonna be his first true test. Gorman's gonna go and be in his face. He's gonna press him. He's gonna ask some serious questions of him. So, if he passed that test, then we'll see. You know, a lot of you guys saying that it's too early to make any claims for Dubois, and you're probably right. But I like what I've seen out of him so far, and I think he's gonna go far. I really think he's gonna go far. But we'll see in July when he fights Gorman. The only reason Holyfield thinks Ruiz hits really hard is because it's a well-known fact that you can't take a punch as well when you're older. He probably hits hard, but it's not a good comparison. That's fair enough, but still, you know, Holyfield's not a guy that complains a lot. So if I hear him say that a guy punches hard, I take it very serious. I feel like Dubois is better than Joe Joyce. I agree. I think Joe Joyce is good. He's definitely a savvy fighter. But with him, it's like, I don't know. He's just so slow. I don't know. I don't want to like slag the guy off, but he's so damn slow. I don't know. I just feel like when he gets there with a guy who's tight, who's polished like Dubois, who his punches come real straight, it's gonna be. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna bite him in the ass. But you know, if he fights the fights that works for him and it works for him, then it works for him. So you can't criticize him for that. Yeah, they were saying that Joe Joyce is actually looking into fighting Brian Jennings coming up soon. They're saying that that'll be the co-main event, potentially for Dubois versus Gorman at the O2 Arena. And I think that'd be the kind of fight that, you know, Joe Joyce needs at this point in his career. A real test. You know, and Jennings is a solid heavyweight, and Jennings will be hungry. He'll be hungry to get a win because he's pissed off about the Oscar Rivas fight. He really feels like he laid a massive egg in that fight. Because if he would have won that fight, Brian Jennings, we could probably talking about him getting being in position for a title shot or getting a title shot. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Other boxing news. What's going on in the world of boxing? Interesting news. Now, I mentioned a couple days ago, guys, that Trevor Bryan and Manuel Char, they had a purse bid coming up, and I've seen Trevor Bryan. I mean, I talked to Trevor Bryan last week. I talked to Stacey McKinley last week. I've seen those guys a lot recently. The reports today from Boxing.com states that Manuel Char versus Trevor Bryan has in fact reached an agreement for a purse bid. The bid was scheduled earlier today in Panama City. The individual teams of both boxers informed the sanctioning body that there was a pact and that they will fight, and the fight will be held without need to carry out any type of purse bid. Now, so they're saying basically that in 20 days, in the next 20 days, they're gonna iron out the location, the date, and the conditions for the fight, and we should know when they're gonna be fighting soon. So that's the top of the division, so to speak. But it's important news for the heavyweight division because, you know, Jared Bryan and Emmanuel Charr, the winner of that, is looking at potentially becoming an Anthony Joshua mandatory, and they're going to be fighting for the regular title. So you know, it should be fun when it happens. Hopefully they get the fight done, because I want to see it, man. Because you know, I like Trevor. I'm close to Trevor, but I want to see where he's at right now. You know, and I want to see just what he's looking like. Because I hear things from Stacey McKinley about him, and Stacey really rates him as a fighter, and I want to see just how much he's improved. So yeah, that's good news for the heavyweight division. That the fact that Char and Bryan have reached an agreement, and they're not going to purse bid and things like that. So we'll see, we'll see. Mr. Boxing today says I got Trevor in that one by UD. I'm gonna say that's a pretty safe assessment, Mr. Boxing today. But he, you know, I've seen him spar a couple times, Trevor Bryant. I've seen him spar a couple times, and he's really improved a lot over the last 4 years, I would say. Stacey's he's really been picking up on some of the things Stacey's been teaching him. So I'm saying this: if Trevor Bryan is as good as I think he's been becoming, then I think he should be able to iron out Manuel Charr and stop him. But UD sounds pretty safe. Yes, MC Treasure, you are absolutely right. Trevor Bryan would have been a great replacement for Jarrell Miller. You know, undefeated New Yorker, strong, sturdy, young, heavyweight. Don King would have made the promotion a lot better. But, you know, guy had a different plan. You know, things didn't work out that way. So, you know, Andy Ruiz getting the fight. That's kind of why I'm not really that. I mean, I know this is a good fight, like no disrespect to Ruiz, but I'm not really that excited for it because it's funny. It was like I know Jarrell pretty good. I know Jarrell. I know Trevor. The kind of both people I've built my channel off of a lot. Not gonna lie to you guys. You know, I built my channel off Trevor Bryan, Jarrell Miller, those two guys. So I was hoping one of them will fight Anthony Joshua, but you know. That's not the case. Don King would have taken about 90% of the purse. You know, we'll see, man. We'll see. I wanted to inform you guys just in advance of some things coming out here on my channel. I got a lot of things I'm working on, YouTube-wise. I just dropped that interview with Stacey McKinley recently. It was like almost an hour long. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But I actually cut up about 6 clips that'll be dropped in June. So be on the lookout for those Stacey McKinley clips if you haven't seen the interview already. I have an interview coming up with heavyweight. I don't know if you call him a contender, but heavyweight Joey Dwayko, who just fought Anthony Joshua. I asked if he wanted to do an interview recently, so I'll be interviewing Joey Dwayko soon. So that should be a good one. I got that coming up. I had a 1 hour and 20-minute interview with Evander Holyfield today that should be out in the coming weeks. You know, it'll take some time to work on. So if you're a heavyweight fan, you know, True School Sports is the place to be. And then that's just what it is, man. So yeah, a lot of good stuff coming out here on TSS. Hoping to run into Shannon Briggs because he is back here in South Florida training again. But literally, I've gone to the heavyweight factory 3 out of the last 4 days and he hasn't been there. So I don't know what's going on with him. He was supposed to train today, he wasn't there. Also, yeah, a lot of you guys are in the comments talking about Don King. I'm actually working on probably getting an interview with Don King soon. I asked Stacey if he could help me set up a interview with Don King, and he said he'll do it. So we might even see a True School Sports Don King interview special coming up soon. Yeah, Don King is a scumbag. Yeah. Well, what's funny is Stacey McKinley actually, in our interview, he actually addressed the notion that Don King robs his fighters. So you guys might want to stay tuned for that. Well, let's see. Miller versus Dwayko rematch. That'd be a good fight. You know, Jarrell Miller isn't going to get any fights with any of the top heavyweights because of the whole PED thing. I would like to see him fight Joey Dwayko because Joey is the kind of fighter that will fight anybody. He's a throwback fighter. He's one of them tough, rugged Philadelphia guys. So, yeah, that's a fight that should happen. I was watching the other day, Mr. Boxing today, I was watching his fight with Joey Dwayko's fight with Amir Mansour, and you know, he's fat, you know. You don't look the part, but he's got some skills. And to be honest with you, he's one of those guys I don't think he's really ever fought up to his potential. I think he's a bit better than he's shown in the ring, and that his record would indicate. What they are doing to Dillian White is disgusting. The loyalty is shown in the WBC. They're stabbing him in the back. How many tough fights does this guy have to overcome, and how long does he have to wait to have to be number one? I mean, it's an unfortunate set of events that's going on with Dillian White. Hopefully for him, he doesn't lose to Rivas because that would be horrible for his career. But if he wins the rematch fight, he shouldn't be fighting any more final eliminators or anything like that. He should be getting a fight against Deontay Wilder right after that. But the problem with the WBC is, see, the WBC is an organization that they don't have any principles. They have no backbone. They don't stick to their principles because they make up things as they go along. Like, I'll give you an example, right? And I like to use this example a lot. When Deontay Wilder had his rematch with when Deontay Wilder was supposed to fight Luis Ortiz or initially in November of 2017, Ortiz had the whole pain medication thing, and it, he wound up not being able to fight him. They removed Ortiz from the rankings. They scrapped Ortiz from the card. They replaced Ortiz with Brain Stavern, which was a direct violation of their own rules. The WBC rules state that if a fighter is inactive for a year, they are removed, or not a year or 18 months, something like that. They're removed from the rankings. Romain had been almost inactive for like 2 years, so they violated their own rules to get Wilder the Stavern rematch, an easy fight. And then roughly about 17 days after the rematch, they reinstated Ortiz back in the rankings, and then Ortiz fought Wilder. So it was just horrible. And then now it's like, if you look at what they're doing with the Lomachenko and Luke Campbell, like I'm not mad at that because I'm glad that they're gonna try to unify titles. Good, that's awesome. But generally, when you fight for a vacant belt, you go by your rankings, and the guys at 1 and 2 or whatever, they fight for the title. So it should have been Devin Haney versus Luke Campbell, but they bought a champion from another sanctioning body, and they made the fight with Luke Campbell. So I'm not mad at it, but I'm just saying, like, they make shit up as they go along, and that's how they've always been. When Stacy said he KO'd Brazil in 4 rounds, I couldn't hold the laughter. Bro, Stacy got some crazy boxing skills. Stacy probably could take some rounds off a lot of heavyweights. I don't know if he beat Brazil, but I'm sure he could take a lot of rounds off these guys. He's like a lesser version of Ruiz, in my opinion. DeWayco, I've only seen him dominated once against Charles Martin. Probably the best version of Charles Martin I've ever seen. That's a very good underrated performance. Martin. That was when I remember when Martin got that win. It was around that time when Martin really started to build some hype here in the States. And I remember there was a time here in the YouTube boxing community when Charles Martin was actually taken seriously. Like, before I walked this earth like a god and all that stuff, he was actually taken seriously as legitimate, credible heavyweight contender. And it was because of fights like that. And then, he just got a big one recently against my boy Gregory Corbin, who the other night, man, I was depressed, man. Gregory Corbin is a friend of mine, and I got a chance to know Greg real good from his time training at the Heavyweight Factory and his time he spent here in South Florida. And it's like, Greg Corbin went in there, and I'm thinking, okay, he's fighting with Grovic, who's good, but I think he's been training with Joshua. He's been there with the best heavyweight, arguably the best heavyweight in the world. You should be putting on a better performance in a fight like this, and he got absolutely annihilated in 1 round. So I was pretty pissed about that. Hopefully Greg can get it together, but I don't know, man. He's 38 years old. He is what he is at this point. But I wish Greg the best, because I really do like him. Philip Hrgovic or Kuapulo are the next in line to fight for the top 5. Please address the Gary Russell Jr. why no one wants to fight him. Okay, I'll do that. To answer your first question, Hrgovic, let's see, I haven't checked the rankings, but I'm gonna check them now. Hrgovic, I'm not sure where or if he's even ranked, but I know Pulev is ranked highly in a lot of sanctioning bodies. Hold on, let me pull the rankings real quick. I want to see where these guys are so I can know what I'm talking about. Let's see. So Pulev, he's still ranked number 1 by the IBF, and he's right now Pulev is in the process of completing a sexual harassment awareness course for the whole Jenny Sushi situation, so his boxing license doesn't get stripped. But yeah, he's number 1 in the IBF. Hrgovic is 12. All right, so Hrgovic is 12 in the IBF. Hrgovic is also, is he ranked in the WBO? Hrgovic is not ranked in the WBO. Is Hrgovic ranked in the WBA? Hrgovic is 9th in the WBA. Pulev is not ranked in the WBA. So Hrgovic is 9th in WBA, 12th in the IBF, and he's not ranked in the WBC. So and Pulev is ranked 8th in the WBC. So both those guys are in good position to fight Anthony Joshua. Obviously, right now, Pulev is in a lot better of a situation than Hrgovic is, but Hrgovic will be there in no time. And Hrgovic has an incredible amateur background. Hrgovic is out here beating the shit out of everyone they put in front of him. I have a friend who, because he was down here training at way down in Miami at a Mundo Boxing Gym, which I've never been to, but it's way down there in Miami. And Hrgovic had about 4 sparring partners, and he sent about 3 of them home before the last week of camp, like just because he's beating the shit out of them. So the guy has raw power. He's a very, very well-schooled fighter, and I think he has a chance to be a really big threat in the division. And in no time soon, I think he will be a threat in the division. What's up with Malik Scott? I saw him sort of working security in Wilder's corner for his last fight. Yeah, Malik Scott and Wilder have become friends like over the years. Like when I went to the Wilder Stavern rematch media workout, he was there on his phone chilling, just there with Wilder. So, I mean, he don't even like box no more like that. Like he's just I kind of feel like he's Wilder's security guy. I predicted in 2015 when he was still an amateur on video, Hrgovic will be a future world champion. Still seems very possible. Absolutely, man. Hrgovic looks the goods, and credit to you, man. You cover them heavyweights, man. Like years before I didn't make one video about them, you already made 30. So that's why I go to your channel, and I if I don't know about guys in the division, I say, okay, let me go see what Mr. Boxing Today says, and then after that, I go watch my tape and do my own research. But yeah, Hrgovic is definitely good, man. He's solid. He's got really good power. He looks the goods, man. That's someone. I'll tell you right now. That's someone like 4 fights from now for Hrgovic. I think he'd be ready to fight Wilder. I think he would. I'd love to see him fight Wilder. Looking back, he was kind of. Michael has been in with Usyk and went the distance with him. Bukoli fought no one, mate. Hrgovic versus Milas Croatian showdown. See, look, I don't even know about Milas like that, so I gotta do my homework on Milas, but I'll look into it. Hunter was just moving to heavyweight, though it was 50-50. I wouldn't mind seeing Michael Hunter take on a Trevor Bryan. I think that'd be a really good fight. Michael Hunter just called out Trevor Bryan after his win on DAZN this weekend. I don't think that Stacey McKinley is gonna allow Trevor Bryan to fight Michael Hunter because they have a really good ranking position in the WBA, and they don't want to lose that because the sense I get when I talk to them is that they're really in a good position and they think the time is coming soon. And if the Char fight has been agreed to and they're now ironing out the details for the venue, the date, all that stuff, they beat Char, they're in a really good position, man. So they're not gonna fight Michael Hunter, but I like to see it. Something AJ doesn't bother weave or dance around the ring. He doesn't have good movement or say has the hook. AJ fights with precision and subtle moves. Some people just don't get it. Yeah, I mean, like I watched the video where Anthony Joshua was breaking down his defensive style. I forgot where I watched it, but like everybody's different. With Anthony Joshua, it's like, okay, when you're in the ring, right? You get some guys who get in the ring, like take a guy like Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury when he fights, like he kind of bends his body a little bit and he fights from the side and he's very herky jerky. And sometimes he's loose, sometimes he's down here, sometimes he's off to the side like this. Wilder, Wilder is awkward in his own right. And these guys all move differently when they try to slip punches. Some guys might parry punches, some guys might move a lot, some guys might move subtly. Joshua's one of those guys, he's relaxed. It's just his shoulders relaxed. So you might throw a punch to Joshua and it just boom, it sails right over the shoulder. Bah, bah. And that's what it is. Economical. That's the best way to describe Anthony Joshua. Ross B says, are you going to see Anthony Joshua's fight? I'll be watching it on television. I'm not going to actually be there, but I'll be watching it. I want to let y'all know again, for the people here from the UK, okay? I'm going to be in the UK. I'm going to England on December the 4th. Your boy BT will be going to England. I'm taking True School Sports International. We're going to visit all the gyms there. So if you want to meet me out there in England, give me a shout. I'll be in London. I'll be in Birmingham. I'll be in I'm going to Liverpool. I'm going to Manchester. I'll probably go to Wales at some point. I'll probably go to Glasgow, Scotland. Gonna be a lot. Gonna be in a lot of different places in England. Um, what's up with Gary Russell Jr.? A situation with people ducking him. Well, the Gary Russell fight, it's like one of them things, man. Where with him, it's like I think he's been a product of piss poor management. He was brought up and they gave him a bunch of cupcake fights, and when he fought Lomachenko, he wasn't ready for it. And then he's had his career stalled by Al Heyman, and then he's been wanting to fight Leo Santa Cruz. Leo don't want to fight him. He's been telling Al, I want to fight Leo, and Al ain't giving him the fight. And then you try to fight Gervonta Davis. Al supposedly blocked the fight. So, he just hasn't had the luck of the draw in his career as far as how it's been ran, and he's not a fighter that brings a lot to the table as far as like if you beat him, you're gonna get respect, but you're not gonna be in a position to make more money. He's high risk, low reward, in that sense. So, why do that? But he's now, I don't know if you saw, but he's now in talks with the Zone to potentially sign with them, and if he does that, I think that could be a turning point in his career because Gary Russell has probably been one of the most mismanaged and underutilized talents in America for quite some time, and to see him break free from the shackles of Al Heyman be great for his career. Sheffield, yeah, that's another place I'm going to. Sheffield, I'm on Sheffield, Nottingham, Sheffield, London, Liverpool, Manchester, Wales, Glasgow, Scotland. I plan on going around the UK and having quite a blast while I'm there. It should be a lot of fun. So again, I'm gonna be there. I mean, the closer it gets, the more you'll hear about it. How is anyone ranked above Crawford, especially Canelo? Isn't Crawford undefeated and undisputed? Well, he was undisputed at 140. He's undefeated to this day. Personally, like I'm gonna be. I've been saying this for a while, but now I'm gonna really drop my pound for pound list because there's really nobody on the pound for pound list that I would put of like. There's nobody fighting in the next couple weeks that's on my pound for pound list. So I want to put on my pound for pound list soon. I don't have Crawford number one. I don't even have Crawford. Crawford's not even in my top 3 at the moment, to be honest with you. On my pound for pound list, Crawford would be around number 4. Lomachenko would be around number 3. Inoue would be number 2. And probably Usyk would be number 1. Why wouldn't Crawford be number 1? I just feel like, for me, one thing that I rate highly, and sometimes this is through no fault of the fighter, sometimes they just get ducked and avoided for political reasons, but Terrence Crawford hasn't really beaten the level of opposition for me to put him pound for pound number 1. He's done what he's had to do. He's destroyed everybody they put in front of him, but he's not beating the level of opposition that Usyk is beating. I mean, Usyk went to one of the deepest weight classes in boxing, cleared it out like no fighter has cleared out weight class in the last 5 years. Went undisputed in like 15, 16 fights. Now he's going to heavyweight. So for me, he's number 1. Number 2 is Naoya the Monster Inoue because the guys he's been fighting have been fantastic. He's been destroying world-class opposition like nobody else in boxing. He passed all the eye tests. He's been scaling weight classes. He's been winning world titles. Like, I want you guys to think about this, right? Naoya Inoue is in a tournament right now. And he's supposed to be fighting the best guys at bantamweight, and obviously, we know that Ryan Burnett or Tay pulled out, so he's not fighting all the best guys. But he's fought Payano, he's fought Emmanuel Rodriguez, and now he'll be fighting Donaire, right? If he stops Donaire before the end of the second round, he will have literally won the World Boxing Series Super Series in 10 minutes. That's how dominant he's been. The last 6 opponents Naoya the Monster Inoue has fought, before they fought him, they had never been stopped. They all got stopped by him. And in the case of his last 3 fights at bantamweight against Jamie McDonald, against Payano, and against Emmanuel Rodriguez, he stopped all of them in 2 rounds or less. It's sensational stuff. I really feel like with Inoue, he's kind of going on, or he's kind of like going on one of those Manny Pacquiao runs, like when Manny Pacquiao was beating the crap out of everybody in 2008, 2009, 2010. He's on one of those runs right now, and I think we gotta really appreciate that. So. I'm not gonna review my whole pound for pound list, but my top 5 would be Usyk 1, Inoue 2, 3 would be Lomachenko, right? Yeah, Inoue 2, Lomachenko 3, Crawford 4, and then 5 would be like probably Canelo, I think. I have it on my phone. If Crawford beats Errol Spence, Thurman, and Porter, then is he number one? Absolutely, no doubt about it. Um, no, I haven't seen the I'm feel merch. He has shirts that say I very feel. No, it's funny. Usic's hilarious, man. Uh, being a world champion, by that meaning going around the world defending your title against the best in your own back garden, that is a true best of the best. Mayweather didn't do that. Yeah, he didn't. I think before the De La Hoya fight, I think the last fight of Mayweather's career, before like he retired from boxing, um, outside of Las Vegas was when he fought Sharambe Mitchell. I believe he fought him at the Rose Garden in Portland, Oregon. But other than that, he's been a Vegas guy ever since the De La Hoya fight. Put him in the driver's seat. He never looked back. Yeah, go ahead. Send a link. I'll give it a look. BT, did you see Canales call out Ryo Kayaguchi? No, I didn't see that. Gotta check that out. "23 world champions and 5 undefeated." Yeah, but with Mayweather, it's like, okay, yeah, he beat 23 world champions, but we're in the 4-belt era. You can't really sit here and say, okay, he beat Carlos Baldomir and all these guys, like, they count as world champions. Who would Mayweather travel to fight, though, besides maybe Hatton? I don't know. Kell Brook, Amir Khan. Let me see. It's a good question, actually. Kell Brook, Amir Khan. I mean, I guess when people say travel, Mr. Boxing today, I guess they mean just outside of Vegas, because he didn't really fight outside of Vegas like that. Come on, man. Yeah, he beat Zab, but I mean, I don't know how the hell he beat Zab. That was pretty horrible. Prince Nassim Hamed ducked Floyd. Yeah, Miguel Cotto in Puerto Rico, but I mean, Miguel Cotto seldom ever fought in Puerto Rico. He was a New York City guy, so it is what it is there, man. But yeah, I can't believe Wilder's fighting Ortiz again, and they decided to announce it this week of all weeks. Strategic stuff by Al Heyman. Strategic stuff by Al Heyman. Hey, did you guys hear that PBC's for sale? PBC's apparently for sale. Al Heyman is looking to sell PBC. He's trying to recoup some of that money he lost from Waddell and Reed. I've even heard that he's even given up as much as I've heard he's given up about 15 his managerial fee, his advisor fee, just to start to recoup some of that money back. Who was the last great world champion you could think of? Someone who traveled the world. Manny Pacquiao. Before Manny, it's not a lot of them really. My man, Two Best Bros. What's up, champ? How you doing? Winky Wright, Manny Pacquiao. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm really looking forward to so these next couple of, after the Joshua Ruiz fight, these next 2 weeks of boxing are going to be interesting, because the big fight the week after Joshua is the big fight after Joshua will be GGG versus Steve Rolls. GGG will be fighting Steve Rolls on his own debut. I can't be bothered with that fight. And then after that, you have Tyson Fury versus Tom Schwartz, which I'm hyped for because I love Tyson Fury. But then after that, it's like we'll have to wait till probably July the 20th for a fight like a massive implications, because we have Pacquiao versus Thurman. Now Pacquiao versus Thurman is a fight I'm very over the moon about. Pacquiao versus Thurman is a fight that I'm excited about because I have a lot of questions as to where is Keith Thurman up here. Keith I believe has lost his edge. I really believe he has. And I think, a lot of the comments he made about Manny Pacquiao during the press conference, particularly the comments where he compared beating up Manny Pacquiao to crucifying Jesus on the cross, it gave Manny Pacquiao the kind of motivation that no fighter has ever had given him. He literally said, for those of you who don't know, Keith Thurman said to Manny Pacquiao, he said, Manny, I know you read the Bible, so I'm going to crucify you like Jesus. So, I mean, you can't be saying that to Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is a deeply devout Christian, and he wants all the smoke before. He wanted all the smoke before that, so he's going to want even more smoke now. This business of the top guys fighting twice the world is crap for the fans. They should fight minimum 3 times per year, at least once every 4 months. Exactly. But I mean, once you get to a certain level, you only fight 2 times a year anyway. Like, for example, Anthony Joshua's not going to fight 3 times a year. I mean, he's going to fight he's going to fight June the 1st, and then he'll probably fight in September, October-ish, maybe. I hope that he fights in December because I want him to fight while I'm out in the UK. I mean, Fury's not even going to fight 3 times this year. What's funny is Wilder will probably be the guy that fights. If there is a guy that fights 3 times this year, it'll be Wilder. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Yeah, there is a guy that fights 3 times this year of the top heavyweights. Ironically, it'll probably be Wilder. Like, because he fought Brazil last weekend, right? And then now he's fighting supposedly in September. I don't know, maybe not actually. So Wilder will probably be a 2-fight guy as well. We'll see. Good luck trying to get a ticket for Joshua. I'm not even gonna try that one. You told me we were on FaceTime the other night, and yeah, from what you told me about how hard it is to get tickets over there, I highly doubt it. But I'm not gonna get a ticket here in America for Joshua, and I'm not getting one in the UK. Thurman can't take body shots and hates lefties. Thurman is tailor-made for Pacquiao. And that's, I could see that being the case because if you look, I don't think, what's funny is, I don't know if you guys caught this, and somebody brought this up in my comments recently. They said, that's why Keith Thurman never called out Manny when all those years when he was calling out Floyd, he never called out Manny because basically with Manny's style is, it's all wrong for him. And that's why he called out Floyd because Floyd was a better fight for him. And I, psychologically with Keith, I feel like he's already lost because the guy's already talking about if I beat Manny Pacquiao, I'm not gonna fight again this year. I'm taking the rest of the year off. So he's talking in a way where it's like he's already thinking about his next vacation. He's already thinking about going around to Japan and eating sushi and you gotta be focused, champ. You gotta chase excellence, and I don't think he's trying to chase excellence at the moment. Let's see. Al Mora. If Ortiz beats Wilder, then what? Listen, if Ortiz beats Wilder, then I'll retract everything I've said about him not being a top-level heavyweight anymore. I'll retract everything. Any way I've slagged him off, I'll definitely retract those things. But he's gonna have to prove it to me, and then it'll set up for a trilogy, and the Joshua fight will be delayed even more. So that is what it is, but I don't think he has the gas tank or punching power or finishing instincts to finish Wilder or beat him. That's just my take. Wilder will catch Wilder if he carries on fighting bums. That's what I'm saying. Mr. Boxing today asked, do you think Wilder will catch Marciano? I mean, what, he's 41 or 42 something like that? I don't think so because I think eventually he will have to fight Joshua or Fury. And I think Fury or Joshua is going to beat him. I'm picking both those guys to beat him. And that's not out of hate. He's got a chance to knock any one of those guys out because neither one of those guys is they're not impossible to knock out. Both those guys have hit the deck in their career. In the case of Fury, Wilder put him on the deck. So I could see it, but I don't see it, man. Unless PBC just gives him soft touches for like 10 fights, and then he can do it. But no, I don't think so. What do you think? Do you think Marciano? Do you think Wilder's gonna catch Marciano? Yes, Marciano never ducked anybody. He's actually got an underrated career. I made a video about that last year. I like good heavyweight trilogies when they happen. Ali versus Nolan, Ali versus Frazier, Bo Holyfield, Patterson, Johansson. Patterson Johansson was pretty underrated actually. I still have to finish watching that one. I only watched like the first fight. Um, but Ortiz. Look, if you, 4 years ago, I remember there was a period of time where I thought, like in 2015, after Ortiz had just when Ortiz stopped Bryant Jennings, at that point in time there was no Anthony Joshua. Wilder was still a pup in the division. Klitschko was on his way out. There was a period of time where I thought Luis Ortiz was the most skilled heavyweight on the planet, and that was like 2015. Um, he would kind of validate, and really just have done something with his career if he beats Wilder in this fight, and he will have done for a lot of fans. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to be behind Ortiz, and they're going to want him to, they'll want to see that. Who's 2 wins on Ortiz's resume? I'm struggling. Dave Allen and Bryant Jennings and Latif Coyote. Well, no, I was saying he was no novice, but I'm saying like they weren't rushing him. Yeah, Dave Allen, Latif Coyote, and what's his name, uh, Brian Jennings, and that one Irish guy he fought on the Golovkin undercard, whose name I can't remember right now. That's what I'm saying, man. I remember. It's funny. I actually saw Luis Ortiz recently at one of the local fight cards because he was here to support a couple of the Cuban fighters that fought on the card, and yeah, he looked old, man. Even my dad was like, "Yo, Ortiz looks old," and my dad is old, so I found that pretty funny when he said that. Yeah, I got Wilder stopping Ortiz in the fourth round because I think Wilder right now, even though from a technical standpoint, he hasn't improved a lot, I think mentally he's improved leaps and bounds. He really believes in himself, and that's a very dangerous fighter. So, yeah, I got him with another viral knockout in the fourth round. Yeah, I know. According to a lot of people I know, Lara's lying about his age. Greendale's lying about his age. Ortiz lying about his age. So it is what it is. A main man, Arsenal Maniac, he asked me the great question of, do I rate Josh Taylor? Well, Josh Taylor, I've been following Josh Taylor since I saw him fight. I saw him fight for the first time on the James DeGale Battle Jack undercard. And from that moment I saw him, I said, man, this guy, I don't know who this guy is, but he looks pretty damn good. I'm going to keep my eye on him. So I've been following him since then. I watched the Howard Davies fight, Miguel Vasquez, all the fights. I've been saying since before the tournament started, I said he's gonna win the tournament. He's gonna beat whoever they put in front of him. If it's Prograis, he's beating him. If it's Baranchik, he's beating him. If it's Relic, any of them guys, he's beating them and he's stomping them out. And I'm sticking with it. I think he just at his weight, to punch how he can punch with both hands. Got punch power in both hands. He's tall for the weight. He moves very well. He's sound defensively. He can fight mid range. He can fight going inside. He can fight on going on the outside. He is a complete fighter, and if Prograis can beat him, I think it would be an amazing win for Prograis because Taylor is an absolutely exceptional talent. And yes, I rate Josh Taylor. I class him as an A-level talent. Um, Al Moore, have you ever seen Guillermo Rigondeaux in Miami? No, I haven't. Other than I saw him one time at a fight, but I haven't seen him in any of the gyms because the gyms he trains at are like really, really far down Miami. I really don't go to those gyms that often because it's very far for me. Um, but I plan on doing that soon, hopefully. But no, I haven't. To answer your question, I think Wilder should go to WWE and vacate the WBC belt to fight the top four. Yeah, I agree. I agree. You got a fridge full of Echo Falls. The last time I saw Tyan, he was drinking Blossom Hill. I don't got a fridge. I still got the same Echo Falls bottle I've been working on for quite some time now because I don't drink like that. But yeah, I saw. He said that they ran out of Echo Falls and he's drinking Blossom Hill now. So, no, not good, not good. Tough times for Tyan Booth. Wilder is good for 3 fights this year. He didn't break a sweat in his last fight. Wilder wants me with his record. Well, Mayweather's record, I mean, Mayweather doesn't have a record because Marciano's thing is a heavyweight record, you know. But I mean, I guess if that's what he's shooting for, that's what he's shooting for. Al Moore says, "Shout out to Griffin Road and Las Olas Boulevard." That's what, so you see, he knows. Al Moore knows. Griffin Road. That's Dania Beach. I was just talking for Griffin Road the other day. Big shout out to Griffin Road and Las Olas. I actually went to Las Olas the other night with my dad. I took him to. Al, do you know the restaurant in Las Olas? There's a breakfast place called the Floridian. I went there with my dad like 3 in the morning. We had pancakes and stuff. What happened to Rigondeaux? He just quit against Loma. You know, he fought a guy who was. No, I was trying to tell everybody. He fought a guy who, regardless of the weight, was just a much more skilled fighter than him. I'm not trying to hate on Rigondeaux. He is a talented fighter. But I've always looked at Rigondeaux and the way he fights. I looked at him as like a mini Adonis Stevenson. That's the way he fights. He's the kind of fighter that if you can take away that sharp left hand, he becomes a very, very ordinary fighter. And that's what Lomachenko did. And you saw what happened. So he'll beat a lot of fighters on his day. He'll make a lot of fighters quit. He'll knock a lot of fighters out. But he's not gonna be the Lomachenkos of the world. Mayweather, exactly. Mr. Boxing today, letting them know because that is a heavyweight record. That's not a Mayweather. Some of those wins shouldn't even count because McGregor. Like, can you really count McGregor? I mean, I know it was sanctioned as a boxing match, but can you really count McGregor? I've met Ortiz like 7 times. He's a very cool guy. You know, and he's been through a lot in his career. So, you know, I hope he can get the job done against Wilder. You know, set up a great heavyweight trilogy. It would put a real dent in heavyweight division. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I kind of want I want one of the big 3 to lose. I don't care if it's Wilder, Joshua, Fury. I want one of them to lose, so that we can see like the tides turn to heavyweight. Like I'm very big into plot twists, so I wouldn't mind seeing a plot twist. Yeah, that's right. Free Sophia. On God and them, Free Sophia. Mayweather beat 23 world champions. Oh my God. No comment. How many lineal champions did Floyd beat? How many times was Floyd the lineal champion? If Roy Jones Jr. stopped after he beat Tarver by majority decision the first time, or Ortiz, would he be considered the best? Probably. I mean, we're talking about a man who was he started at junior middleweight, moved all up to heavyweight, won world titles. I mean, he won world titles 154, right? 154, 160, 168, 175, and heavyweight. Incredible stuff. I mean, the guy moved up and he beat James Toney in his prime. I mean, he beat a prime James Toney. You know, exceptional stuff from Roy Jones Jr. 23 exactly. 23 champions, 23 title holders. Like he didn't beat 23 champions. He beat 23 title holders for the most part. Not all of them, but for the most part. I'd love to see AJ and Fury lose just to see how Wilder will cash out. No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. See, if I could have my way, I'd like to see Wilder or AJ lose first, and then it'd be hilarious to see Fury just take the piss out of them. I mean, how long are we live for? We've been live for what? 87 minutes? Man, we working hard. We working hard here on True School Sports. But yeah. Let's see. I mean, Monzeri has 50. He's 50 plus and 0 right now. Yeah. Yeah, but I think Wilder will lose. Then Fury, AJ will remain undefeated. Cause Stone Cold said, there you go. That's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so. You got it right. You got it right, my friend. Floyd's a great fighter, man. I don't take nothing away from Floyd. You know, he's a great talent. I don't rate him as highly as other people do. Because I've heard people say like, oh, Floyd Mayweather is top 10 all time and stuff like that. That's crazy to me. I mean, I think he's like, he's in the top 50, but he ain't top 10. That's crazy. No, so Charles Martin is a champion? Arsenal Maniac, Charles Martin is a champion? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Charles Martin's a champion? Did you visit AJ's gym in Miami? No, I was trying to find out where he was at. Nobody knows where the hell it was. He kept it very low key. So I'm actually supposed to interview his. I'm supposed to interview Joey Dwayko, who's his main sparring partner. So I'm gonna try to get some info on that when I talk to him. Yeah, Mayweather is not top 20. You guys out of your mind. Anybody who thinks Mayweather is top 20 is just they don't have enough. They haven't really done their history on the boxing. If they think he's top 20, top 40, top 50, okay, you got it. But top 20, you got the game messed up. You got the game messed up, champ. Now we're talking about in terms of his pure talent. He's top 10 all time in terms of pure talent and boxing ability. He was a ring genius. But when you factor in the lack of prime A-level fighters, you cannot put him top 20. Sorry. Hate to tell you. Hate to tell you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Don't shoot me. Don't kill me. Don't kill the messenger. Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Robinson are my top all-time fighters. Yeah, I mean those are some great fighters. My personal favorite fighters of all time, like are Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, but y'all knew that. Riddick Bowe. Yeah, probably those two guys are right up there. Those two guys. Holyfield. Michael Nunn. Roman Gonzalez, Michael Nunn, Riddick Bowe, Holyfield. Them guys, you know. Yeah, absolutely. I can separate the two. I recognize that Mayweather had out of this world skills. He had boxing intelligence, and his application to the sport is not something you see every day. So I appreciate the genius of Mayweather. I can recognize that, but he didn't fight prime A-level fighters. So yeah. Corrales, Gotti. Gotti wasn't A-level. He was a flat-footed C-class fighter who had already fought Ward 3 times. Judah, I mean, come on, man. The Judah that he fought, no. Judah had A-level talent, but Judah was just a better version of Adrian Broner. Corrales, you can make the argument there. I might give you that one. And then Hatton, he fought Hatton at, I believe, 147. His natural weight was 140. So he didn't fight Hatton at his best weight. And then Canelo, same thing with Canelo. So, I mean, good names. Aesthetically, if you go on BoxRec, his resume looks A1. But you gotta look at it in context. Okay, you have to. Great fighter, great talent, but his resume lacks quality of A-level fighters, and we're gonna put it to you like that. My main man, Edward Scott, he's here. What's up, champ? How you doing? Good to see you. You're killing me. No, I'm not. You're laughing. You're laughing to deflect the truth, man. You're laughing to deflect. Like a lot of Mayweather fans are like that. They say, "Oh, they laugh when I start saying these things," but they laugh to deflect the truth because it is the truth. Mayweather was a great fighter, a great talent who didn't fight prime A-level fighters. I'll give you an example. In 2005, right when he fought Henry Brussels. He fought Miguel Cotto's sparring partner, right down here in Miami at the American Airlines Arena. He fought Miguel Cotto's sparring partner. When he could have just fought Miguel Cotto. He could have just fought Miguel Cotto when Miguel Cotto was 140 back in 2005. But no, he decided he wanted to fight his sparring partner. So that's one of many examples I can give you. You know, how about when he was, I think it was 130, 135? When he was in the same weight class as Paul Spadafora. Paul Spadafora beat the brakes off him in sparring. He didn't want no smoke with Paul Spadafora. You know what happened to Paul Spadafora? You don't want no smoke with Paul Spadafora. How about when Winky Wright called him out to fight, and then Mayweather said, I'll fight Winky Wright. I don't know. And then Winky Wright accepted it, and then Mayweather was like, okay, no, I'm not going to fight him. How about that? You know? How about that one? How about, we can go on and on. How about all the times he wanted no smoke with Prime Pacquiao? How about that? I mean, I know it sounds like a joke now because he's declined so much, but how about in 2014 when he was supposed to fight Amir Khan when he put a poll on his Twitter account and they asked the fans who he wanted to fight next and Amir Khan won the poll and he ducked Amir Khan? How about that one? I mean, I think he would beat Amir Khan, I'm just saying. How about when after he beat Mayweather, Pacquiao, he had all the belts, and he could have fought Kell Brook to become undisputed champion, but instead he vacated the belts and he fought Andre Berta. How about that one? You know, must we continue? Must we continue here on True School Sports? How about when Antonio Margarito pulled up to him at the WBC convention and wanted to fight him, and he said, and he shook his hand and he said, "I'm not gonna fight you. It's about making smart business decisions and moving up levels." You know, he didn't want him, and he kept looking behind him like he was scared of the guy. How about that one? How about when Keith Thurman was his mandatory for like 4 years? Keith Thurman was his WBA mandatory for like 3 to 4 years, and he didn't fight Keith Thurman. So look, we're in 2019 now. And Pacquiao, as a part-time boxer and a senator, is about to clean up the mess that Mayweather couldn't clean up. So, I'm just saying, man. There's too many fighters. I understand you can't fight everybody. I understand you can't go ahead and just fight everybody in weight class. It's not that easy. But there's too many top fighters that were in their primes that he systematically ducked. And we will not bullshit you. We will not sugarcoat it. He's a great talent, but he ducked a lot of fighters. Yes, my man, two best bros. The Pacquiao duck is probably the biggest one in boxing history. Yes, he fought him. And the funny thing is, he fought him, and you get these Mayweather fans and a lot of people in American media who say, oh well, he schooled Pacquiao. And I said, schooled? He didn't school shit. It was a close fight. I think it could have went either way. First time I watched it, I thought Mayweather won. I've watched the times I scored it for a draw, I scored it for Pacquiao, but that really was a close fight. Like it was a horrible fight. I think for Mayweather and Pacquiao, as far as the big fights go in their careers, it was probably the worst fight of their careers. But as far as the excitement wise, so he would have beat Pacquiao any day. Please, are you serious? He had a hard time beating Pac with a shoulder injury in the last fight when they fought the first time, and then on top of that. Mayweather himself said, "Oh well, now I see after the fight. Now I see why Pacquiao was so good. The angles he takes and all that stuff. I see why he's so great as a fighter. So imagine if he would have fought the Pacquiao from 2009, 2010, 2008. Look, got smoked, straight up and down. Calzaghe was an underdog stopper. That was super middleweight. Ricardo Lopez." Pac-Man is younger. I'll tell you this, guys. I'm gonna tell you something. If they didn't rob my boy Romo Gonzalez in 2017 in the first Rumble-side fight, we'd probably be sitting here right now talking about how Romo Gonzalez is going for the undefeated record and about to pass Floyd, because Romo was 45-0 when he lost to Rumble-side. In the first fight, they robbed him. A lot of people thought he won that fight. I thought he won that fight, and then he probably could have had a couple soft touches because he was fighting a lot of killers at that point. And damn, we probably talking about Romo Gonzalez being 50-0 right now. Ain't that some shit? That would be crazy, man. I'm so pissed they robbed him in that first fight because then he got knocked out in the second fight, brutally. Yeah, they don't realize that. Like, I don't understand why they don't realize that with Romo Gonzalez. Like, you're right, man. You're right. Like, he was scaling weight classes. The guy started his career at 105. So he world champion at 105, world champion at 108, world champion at 112. By the time a lot of people started paying attention to Romo Gonzalez, the guy was on his fourth weight class. Like, so gotta understand, man. Romo Gonzalez, he was that guy. He's still that guy. And I'll tell you right now, if him and Juan Francisco Estrada have a rematch, I think Romo Gonzalez has a better chance of beating Gallo Estrada than the other champions at 115 do. He's got a better chance than Kelly Fai. He's got a better chance than Jerwin Ancajas of beating Gallo Estrada. No doubt about it. So it is what it is, man. He was robbed, but that fight took a lot out of him. Yeah, exactly, it did. And then people don't even realize, like, because I always hear people say, oh, like for example, with Daniel Jacobs, right? With Daniel Jacobs, they'll say, oh, well, Jacobs, he lost to Prague because his grandmother passed away. Ooh. They'll make all these excuses for Daniel Jacobs, right? But then people don't actually realize that after Romo Gonzalez beat Carlos Cuadras in late 2016, and what was a great fight, I was there. It was one of the best fights of all time that I've ever been to. The best fight I've ever been to in person. After the biggest win of his career, his trainer that he had his whole entire life died of a brain aneurysm in his sleep 3 months after the Cuadras fight. People don't know that. That's an underrated fact. So psychologically, Chocolatito wasn't even the same going into the Rumble side fight. But people are so quick to say, oh, well, Daniel Jacobs' mother died, and that's why he lost to Parag. Or they'll say, oh, Mike Tyson, Customato died, and that's why Mike Tyson declined as a fighter. Well, why doesn't that apply to Roman Gonzalez? Because most people don't even know that fact. I mean, I made videos about it, but most people don't know that fact about Roman Gonzalez. That before the first Rumble side fight, his trainer, like pretty much because Roman Gonzalez was mentored by the great Alexis Arguello. But aside from Alexis Arguello, his trainer, Arnulfo Obando, was his guy. It was his guy. And he died of a brain aneurysm in December of 2016. And he was never the same. Hasn't been the same since. He still got, I know he picked up a win in his last fight, but he has not been the same Roman Gonzalez since his trainer died. Who else schooled Canelo? I'll wait. I don't know. Triple G in the first fight? We'll go with that one. Triple G in the first fight. And they robbed Triple G in the first fight. So, yeah. We'll go with that. And I think Canelo has become a damn good fighter. But come on, man. This man said, Jarrell Smith said, niggas die every day. You're right. People die every day. You're right about that. But I'm saying, if you want to make it about black fighters, like straight up, like, again, Daniel Jacobs got patted on the back and got sympathy from a lot of people when he lost to Parag and his grandmother passed away, which is very understandable because if somebody that close to you dies right before a fight, it's going to affect you psychologically. But Roman Gonzalez don't get that same sympathy because y'all just hate Roman Gonzalez. And Roman Gonzalez is an all-time great. He was? I didn't know that. Roman Gonzalez was going through a divorce too? So so you mean to tell me Roman Gonzalez had his trainer of his whole life die before the Rumble fight and he was going through a divorce? Man, y'all got me fucked up. Yo, Roman Gonzalez is that guy, bro. He's TBE. I don't give a damn, bro. He was going through all that and he still was beating Ramasai up like that in the first fight. Respect. I hope he becomes world champion again. Man, I wish Eddie Hearn would get Kelly a fight witness protection and let Roman Gonzalez beat the brakes off him so he can become world champion again. Come on, man. But yeah, I didn't know that. I'll have to look that one up. There shouldn't be excuses in the ring regardless of circumstances. And you know what? I agree. And I really wish people would have that standard for every fighter in boxing. Because if they did, then I wouldn't be bringing this up. If people said, well, no excuse, Daniel Jacobs, your grandmother died, you know what? Tough shit. You lost to Parag. And if people said that to Daniel Jacobs, then I have no problem. If people said about Mike Tyson, well, Customato died, your trainer, oh, well, you know what, Mike, tough shit. Then you lost. But they don't do that. They sympathize, so I'm sympathizing. Yeah, look at Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant, every freaking interview he does, I love Caleb Plant, but every freaking interview he does, every interview Caleb Plant does is an interview special on how he had it hard growing up, how his daughter died, how he came up, in the ghettos of Tennessee, all this stuff, how he went through the stroke. He went through it, right? But you don't see him making excuses. He's got a fight coming up soon with Mike Lee, which I'm pretty excited about. It's almost like they found the only two white American top level fighters and they put them against each other. That's pretty funny, but Caleb Plant, mentally strong guy. He says, shame on Inoue for not fighting Roman. Yeah, that's the one fight right there that honestly, I'll say this. I don't think there's not one fight in boxing history, and I mean any era. There's not one fight in boxing history that I wanted to see more than Roman Gonzalez versus Naoya Inoue. Because I knew back then how special Inoue was. And I mean, we know how special Roman Gonzalez is. So I was hoping they would have fought on HBO. Never happened. And now, if Roman fought Inoue now, Inoue would beat the brakes off Roman. I love Roman, but no way in hell he's beating Inoue now. And at that time, like after Roman beat Quadras, that would have been the perfect time for the fight to happen. But we'll see. In your opinion, who is 168 and 147's kings? Okay. 168 and 147, those are interesting divisions because there's really no clear cut at the moment. 168, I would say right now, um, I would say the king of 168 is, to me, I think it's kind of like split 168. I look at like Caleb Plant and David Benavidez as like the two best fighters in that weight class at the moment. Um, that's my opinion. I know some people might, for some people, the jury might still be out on Caleb Plant. I've always rated Caleb Plant. I was saying when Caleb Plant was 13-0 that I think he was gonna be a world champion. So I've always been high on him. So Plant, Benavidez are like 1A and 1B for me, and 147, Terrence Crawford. I mean, I think Terrence Crawford is an absolutely exceptional fighter. And it's a shame with these guys. What PBC is trying to do by freezing them out. Yeah, I mean, those guys are ducking, man. Gervonta Davis, man. Let me tell you guys something. I've been watching a lot of boxing over the last couple of days. Like I just watched this today. I watched the top ranked card. I watched Pedraza's fight. I watched Jamel Herring's fight. I watched Joey Dwayne Samir Mansour the other day. But one fight I watched also recently was I rewatched actually was Gervonta Davis versus Jose Pedraza, because I wanted to remember how good Tank Davis looked that fight. And man, he was a superstar. He had everything it took to be a superstar. And now the guy he looks like Grimace. Like, I mean, the guy looks like a big fat chicken nugget. And he looks like he has no way back. And it's sad because honestly, we look at his division, Tevin Farmer. The Tevin Farmer is the one. I mean, honestly, like, look, Gervonta Davis, anywhere close to his best, is stomping out Tevin Farmer 55 times a day and twice on Sunday. I mean, so it's just sad that he hasn't been able to live up to his potential, because I was watching him in this Pedraza fight, and he was so sharp. He was so good. Oh my God, he was so good. The combinations, the speed, the head movement. Oh my God. He would have given him, if that guy from that fight can somehow show up, boxing can be in a better place. Mr. Boxing today said he wanted to see Holmes versus Foreman, especially around 91, 94. That would have been great, bro. Like Foreman versus Holmes at that time, you know, I know Holmes and Foreman were kind of like, you know, I know Foreman was definitely, and it was how he was in the process of his second career. But yeah, that would have been a great one, man. That's one that never happened. I would have loved to see, you know, if I would love to see in the heavyweight division around that time, I would have loved to see Riddick Bowe versus George Foreman. That would have been bananas, that fight. That fight would have been crazy. Yeah, I keep forgetting that Larry Holmes beat Ray Mercer. That's crazy. He's sharp every time he fights. He ain't lose it. Yeah, but you gotta understand, Gerald Smith. Like, the guy's been like the last 3 fights he's had. He's been cherry picking. He's been cherry picking inactive guys from the weight class below him. He ain't really been fighting the top guys in his weight class. When he fought Pedraza, Pedraza was like the greatest fighter in the world, but he's respectable. He's definitely a formidable opponent, and he just beat the brakes off of him. So for me, it was impressive because he fought a guy who was a good fighter at the weight class and just looks absolutely sensational. Just absolutely sensational. Darnell Boone KO'd Adonis Stevenson and dropped Andre Ward. Yeah, Darnell Boone's a real fighter, man. Darnell Boone fight anybody. He really wanted all the smoke. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think. Well, I don't know, man. I think Pedraza would still probably lose if Tank showed up and he's in shape. He should still probably beat Pedraza, but it'd be a tougher fight for him now because Pedraza has improved and matured as a fighter. I think the Lomachenko fight did a lot for like the education of Pedraza in his career. When you fight a guy like Lomachenko, if you handle it the right way, you can get better as a fighter. And I don't know if you guys saw his fight with Antonio Lozada recently for this past weekend, but he looks $1 million. I mean, granted, it was against a guy who squares right up and plods forward, but still, this is the same Lozada that beat the brakes off Felix Verdejo. Damn near ended his career. That's not his fault. He beat whoever they put in front of him. Okay, and I'm telling you, Jarrell, that the last 3 fights they put in front of him have been at that weight class. At the weight class he fights at 130, they've been bums. Straight up and down. They've been bumps. So he needs to. That's another fighter PBC has in witness protection is Tank Davis. They don't want him to fight nobody. I mean, you don't want the guy to fight Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer. Listen, Tevin Farmer. I respect his story. I respect his career. I'm not gonna shit on Tevin Farmer. But if you want to talk about overrated fighters here in America, that is one of them. That is one of them. Tevin Farmer is a very overrated fighter, and there should be no reason. Fuck a network. To hell with the network. There should be no reason why Tevin Farmer is being avoided by Tank Davis. Are you serious? Tank Davis will stomp that dude out 55 times a day, 10 times on Sunday. That's how adamant I am about that fight. If Tank Davis' head is anywhere close to straight, he's beating Tevin Farmer. Like, he's been fighting bums at the top of his weight class. They want that fight. Tevin Farmer just used to use his name to get on. Yeah, I've heard that before. But I've also heard Leonard Ellerby say many times that he's not going to allow Tank Davis to go to the zone and fight Tevin Farmer and things like that. And it's like, okay, well, at this present moment, Tank Davis don't got no belt, so you don't really have any, like, you can't negotiate. That's an easy come up. That is such an easy come up. Tevin Farmer would get iced by Tank Davis. That is an easy come up. And you can take that to the bank. So I don't understand. If they believe in him like they say they do, and they want to get him back into being a world champion and building him up and making him that star that we all know he can be, why not fight him? Why not fight him? What belt does he have? What belt does Tank have? Did he lose it on the scale? Let me make sure I'm not tripping. Maybe I'm just tripping here. I mean, if he's got a belt, he ain't defended it against nobody. I don't give a crap, bro. Tom Schwartz versus Tyson Fury is going to be the fight of the year, so you can miss me with that. It's the biggest fight in heavyweight history. Let's see. Tank Davis. All right, so he's 21-0 with 20 knockouts. Vacant. Okay, yeah, you're right. He's got a belt. All right? You sure he didn't lose it on the scale or something? Tank Davis loses belt on the scale. I swear he lost his belt on the scale. That might have been a while ago, though. I might be thinking about when he fought Fonseca or something. Yeah, okay, you're right. So, yeah, it was against Fonseca. But I'm just saying, man, like, he's fighting freaking Hugo Ruiz and Cuellar. Like, those guys are solid fighters at the weight class below 126. But they're not 130-pounders. And he's dragging these dudes up from 126 to 130. I mean, he was trying to cherry pick Abner Mares from 126 and bring it up to 130. So come on, man. That's ridiculous. Like, he needs to step it up. He needs to stop being put. They need to take the training wheels off of Tank because he's a very competent, very talented, and very skillful fighter. And that is what it is. And you're right. You're correct, Jarrell. Thank you for the correction. I take correction. So you're right. Farmer only has a belt because Tank lost his belt on the scale. You're right. And he hasn't fought nobody either. Like, he won the belt against Billy Dib. Then he defended it against Ryan Tennyson. And now, and then he fought Jonah. He went life and death with Jonah Carroll. Life and death. You know, Jonah Carroll could have probably got a win in that fight. So, yeah. Man, I mean, Tank Davis and Tevin Farmer. I'm saying right now, Tank Davis, I class him highly as far as his talent. Tevin Farmer, I class him highly for his work ethic, but I don't think he's that talented. I don't think he's as talented or as good as people want to make him seem. But it's just a sad state of affairs, like you said, at super featherweight right now. You know, it's a sad state of affairs. Yeah, and for those of you comparing Tank Davis and Billy Joe Saunders, you can't compare him to Billy Joe Saunders because Billy Joe Saunders actually beat some good fighters. Like, he beat Dave Lemieux, he outboxed the Daylights and destroyed Andy Lee. I mean, come on, man. Burchell, I'm hoping. I want to see Burchell fight Jamel Herring because that's a fight that's being talked about. Yo, Jamel Herring this week, I had a chance to watch his fight against Masayori Ito. He looked great, man. Jamel Herring has really improved. He's no longer the same Jamel Herring that fades in the latter part of fights. He's no longer the Jamel Herring that got destroyed by Dennis Shavikov. He's actually really improved. Like Brian McIntyre, along with the guy that's Terrence Crawford as well, because Terrence Crawford can help him as well. Terrence Crawford and Brian McIntyre over there in Omaha, Nebraska, they've really made Jamel Herring a very formidable fighter. Now he's world champion, and he's gonna be a tough out, man. A guy with that kind of range, that ability to move, counter. His only problem, really, most of his career was stamina. Now that he's kind of got that sorted out because he's been training up there in Colorado Springs. He's gonna be a problem, man. I really think Jamel Herring could be a solid champion. He's supposed to fight Burchell. Burchell is one of the most exceptional offensive fighters in all of boxing, no doubt about it. And to see him go up against Herring, I like to see that. Should Amir and Braun retire? They're losing. They should fight each other. That's what they should do. Jarrell said, exactly. I'm from Philly. I love Farmer, but he's not on Davis level. Exactly. So at least we can agree on that, Jarrell. They really ain't in the same class for me. Farmer will have to make me a believer for sure on that one. Yes, shout out to the Duck Chronicles, Bruce Vane. He lost to IBF and they gave it to him. Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Tevin Farmer and Tank Davis, they are what they are. This is a bit random, and I know the guy I'm about to mention is very irrelevant in terms of what's going on right now, but I'm really hoping Amir Imam comes back to boxing, man. Amir Imam, his career is in a weird place. He hasn't fought since March 2018 against Jose Ramirez. Apparently got into some sort of dispute with Don King. Now he's somewhere in North Carolina or upstate New York training. And I don't really know what's going to go on with his career, but I talked to him. I messaged him the other day on Instagram. I told him, I encouraged him. I said, hey man, come back to boxing, man. We need you, man. You're a good fighter. You could still be a good fighter. You could still be a world champion. He's a very talented fighter. I just don't think he really ever mentally was ready for where he was at when he started losing. But I'm hoping Amir Imam can get it together, man. He don't got a lot of time because time goes by quickly in life, and but that's one guy right there I'm really rooting for to get it together because he's an exceptional talent. He was actually the first fighter I ever interviewed, believe it or not. It's a fun fact. First true school sports boxing interview was Amir Youngmaster Imam. So I got a soft spot for Amir in my heart, and I love Amir. And hopefully get it together, man. But yeah, just wanted to mention him. I'm interested to hear your views on the Charlos, underachieving or on course. Well, Kurt Composure, I'll give you this, man. I'll talk about each Charlo individually because I don't think it's fair to group them together because I don't think Jermell Charlo and Jamal Charlo are on the same level from a skill standpoint. So I'll start with Jermell. I will definitely start with Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo, I actually class him as an overachiever because I don't think he was as good as people made him out to be. I never thought that. If you can go back and check any one of my Jermell Charlo videos, his whole title run, before the John Jackson fight, before the Lubin fight, before the Harrison fight, I never thought he was as good as he was. But he made some improvements with Derek James. He started knocking guys out, and he believed his own hype, and he ran into a classy, skillful boxing Tony Harrison and got outboxed. So I look at him as an overachiever who has actually, we've already seen the best of Jermell Charlo, and he will not get any better than he ever was during that 3-fight run where he knocked out Lubin, where he stopped Charles Hatley, and he beat those guys, So, he's an overachiever, but I see him plateauing and not getting any better. As far as Jamal Charlo, I see him right on course. I see him being a fighter that will improve. I see him being a fighter that will be world champion. I rate Jamal Charlo. I think he can fight his ass off, and I've been saying that for a while because a lot of you guys came on here on my channel and said, "Oh, Jamal Charlo ain't shit. He lost to Matt Korobov. He's a bum. He's this. He's that." And I told you guys, this Matt Korobov fight was the best thing that happened in his career because he fought a highly skilled, a guy with amateur experience, was able to, outbox him, hurt him in the later rounds. He went through some stuff, showed mental fortitude, mental strength. you know, this is the same Jamal Charlo who stopped Julian Williams in 5. The same Julian Williams that just dominated and bullied and had a pound for pound caliber performance against Jarrett Swift Hurd. This is the guy that Jamal Charlo knocked out. This is the guy that he knocked out. So I know he's not fighting anybody notable in his next fight against Brandon Adams. Brandon Adams is a solid fighter who won the contender. But I think I class Jamal Charlo as a top-level middleweight, a guy that will be world champion. Jamal Charlo, I don't see him getting any much better, and I think he'll probably lose the rematch to Tony Harrison. I think both bros lost on the same night, the Twin Curse. I mean, a lot of people think that. I don't think so. I think Jamal just edged Korobov, but you know, it's fair. That's fair. And yes, James Burrell, Brian McIntyre. Let's talk about him, man. He is a damn good trainer. And you know what? I think right now, when we talk about Brian McIntyre, he's got to be close to being trainer of the year. He's got to be in the running because you look at, you know, he's got one of the pound fighters in the world in Terrence Crawford. He's coming off of making Amir Khan quit. Okay, Amir Khan never known for quitting. Made him quit. Okay. Beat him in like 4 or 5 rounds, whatever, however many rounds it was. I don't even remember. It was such a forgettable fight, but he destroyed. Terrence Crawford destroyed Amir Khan. Then he takes a guy in Jamel Herring. Okay, they got him. They linked up last year. He's been bringing him along slowly. Puts him in a world title fight against a guy in Ito who, okay, Masayuri Ito was a one-dimensional fighter. He likes to load up on the right hand, but he beat some good fighters. You know, he had beaten Christopher Diaz. He had beaten some good fighters to get that world title and defended against a couple good fighters to get that world title. And Herring was never known for being able to tough it out and had that stamina in the championship rounds. And this is the fight where he finally got it together. And the reason he finally got it together was because of Brian McIntyre, was because of Terrence Crawford, who I think Terrence Crawford will be a decent coach when he's done with boxing because you're seeing Terrence Crawford, the boxing IQ. If you really watch Joe Herring's performance, there were some things he was doing in there that were very Terrence Crawford-esque. I'll give you an example, right? Masayuri Ito oftentimes will look to load up with the right hand because he likes to land that right hand. It's the punch that's brought him very far in his career. So every time Masayuri Ito would load up with that right hand, if he took anything that even resembled an abnormal step to load up with the right hand, Jamel Herring would take just a half step back. Just a half step back. He didn't have to throw a punch. He didn't have to move. Just a half step back. And what that did was it made Masayuri Ito have to reset. And these are the subtle improvements he's made in his overall skill set that allowed him to get that win, that allowed him to control range, that allowed him to counter, that allowed him to see punch to slip. You know, he was overall, it was a great performance from him, and I'm happy for him, man. Absolutely happy for him. And Brian McIntyre needs to get consideration for trainer of the year. And I'll bang that drum to no end here on True School Sports. Is Derevinchenko versus Canelo still happening? Well, right now, as it stands, they're saying that Derevinchenko versus Canelo will more than likely not happen because because Canelo is looking for bigger money fights. So I'll probably vacate. Light flyweight is the most stacked division with the best champions right now. Light flyweight, so that's what, 108? Tell me 108. So 108, that's Tanaka, right? Tanaka, Taguchi, right? Kenshiro, you got Angel Acosta, you got Kayaguchi, you got Felix Alvarado. Yeah, that's some killers in this division. It's Ryuichi Taguchi. Yeah, you got some killers in this division, boy. I'm telling you. I personally want to see my number one fight in that division. I want to see Kenshiro fight Angel Acosta. I think that'd be a great unification fight. But yeah, to kind of answer your question, talk to you, Shihi. I think Kenshiro could have a legitimate case to be on a pound for pound list. Guy is exceptional. You know, people don't talk about him because, you know, Japanese fighters don't get a lot of attention in America unless you're like a Noya, and even he has to struggle to get attention. But Kenshiro is just as talented as Tanaka. He's just as good as Tanaka. Some people even say he's better than Tanaka. You know, and Tanaka's a damn good fighter. Tanaka is an exceptional fighter. I mean, there's a lot of warriors out there in Japan, so. So yeah, we've been going strong here, man. 2 hours here live. I didn't think I had the energy to go live for 2 hours, but I've just been talking, and we're still going here on True School Sports. So make sure y'all do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button so you can let YouTube know that this video is extremely dope. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe You know, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. I'm like less than 900 subscribers away from 20,000, so that should be fun. And then yeah, super chat if you want. Let me know what city, what state, what continent you're watching from. All that good stuff. Isn't a draw a blemish on a record? Making no longer perfect plus. Can fighters drink juice or mineral water during fights? I can't remember. Well, as far as the whole juice thing, I'm not sure about that one. I think you only drink water. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that. As a draw a blemish on a record, I mean you can't really call it a blemish on a fighter's record because it's not a loss. And two, if you have a title and you get a draw, that still counts as a title defense. Like for example, Wilder got a draw against Fury, and it counts as a title defense. So technically, it's not a draw. Al Moore, Rob Brandt versus Canelo. Look, I like Rob Brandt. I'm happy that he became world champion. He beat a good fighter in Ryota Murata. But Rob Brandt is a good example of a fighter that, if we weren't in the 4-belt era, he would not be a world champion. I like Rob Brandt. I've been watching Rob Brandt since his fight with DeCarlo Perez on Showbox. So I like Rob Brandt, but he wouldn't beat Canelo. He don't have it. Canelo. To beat Canelo, you gotta be a special type of fighter. And I give Rob Brandt no more than a small puncher's chance of beating Canelo. But look, if Canelo took a fight with Rob Brandt, I'd definitely watch it. I'd be interested in it because I like Rob Brandt. But I know a lot of people wouldn't be interested in that because they don't know who the hell Rob Brandt is. He's not a big name. So, Jarrell Smith, I appreciate that, champ. Thank you. But yeah, Rob Brandt, good for him. He's become better over time. You're saying Brandt has crazy energy. He has good stamina. He does have good stamina, but I don't know. He's one of the he's not. Anyway, I don't know why my thing lagged, but what I was saying is, Brandon is someone that is very susceptible to getting outboxed. I would see Canelo outboxing him. I never saw Murata versus Brandt. Was it a robbery? Nah, I thought Brandt won. Brandt won fair and square. So, but yeah, I mean, Rob has been someone who's been the underdog his whole career, and I like to see Rob. If Rob ever got a fight that big, it'd be interesting to see how he handles a fight of that magnitude against a guy like Canelo. But people would more than likely call Rob Brandt a massive cherry pick. More than likely, if he got a fight with Canelo. So, that's that. But yeah, guys, I've been live for 2 hours. I've really enjoyed my time talking to you guys. Before I get off, let's just recap the whole Wilder thing, okay? Deontay Wilder has stated that he's fighting Luis Ortiz next. He doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua or even make it a possibility. He's decided on Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz fight week to announce his next fight with Luis Ortiz. And it's bad enough he's already announcing another fight on Anthony Joshua fight week, but he's announcing a fight that nobody gives a flying fuck about with Luis Ortiz. It belongs right here in the trash can. That's why the trash can is in the shot, because that's where that fight belongs. And I'm not saying this to disrespect Ortiz, because the first fight was very exciting. It was very good. I was live for it. I had a blast. But we're at a stage now as fight fans where we want to see the big fights. We want to see Fury versus Wilder, the rematch. We want to see Wilder versus Joshua. We want to see Fury versus Joshua. Those are the fights that matter. Those are the fights that get people going. And, Wilder seems to be just stalling more and more and more and more. And it's one of the risks that we might get robbed of one of the biggest fights of our generation. So that's why I'm pissed off about it. They're saying September the 7th, Staples Center in LA. So it should be, I'll definitely cover it as it comes, as it gets closer, but not happy about it at all. So, that's Ruiz fight if he's victorious, that he wants to sit down with Wilder man to man and discuss this fight and get it done for this year, which I think will be the most sensible thing to do for the health of boxing, for the fans, and all that. So, yeah. I'll respond to a couple more comments, but here's what I'll see. Jarrell Smith asked me, Harrison versus Charlo 2. I got Tony Harrison winning an even wider decision. I think Tony Harrison figured Charlo out in the first fight. He's a better boxer. As long as he doesn't get caught, he wins. White versus Wilder, plus White seemed to be a bigger puncher. I sent you a video on it. Where? Where? On YouTube or Instagram or where? I don't know where you sent me a video, but Wilder versus White is a fight that I'd be happier with if they made it. But Wilder, I've been saying it for a while now, that Deontay Wilder and PBC, what they have effectively done, they've created a witness protection program for this guy to not fight Joshua. They gave him Brazil, which was mandatory. Now they're giving him Ortiz. Then they're gonna give him Adam Kalnaki. And the crazy thing is, like, knowing how reluctant they are to fight Joshua, I wouldn't even be surprised if we see him fight F.A. Jagba or some shit like that, like after Kalnaki. You know, that's where we're at right now. So, unbelievable. Charlo didn't win a round. I watched it twice. I gotta rewatch that fight. I haven't watched it since, so I'll probably watch it within the coming days. But yeah, he definitely outboxed him. Gary Russell Jr. versus Santa Cruz, who wins? Gary. I think Gary hand speed, punch power, punch placement too good for Leo. But I'm gonna get off. Listen, guys, I'm gonna get off because I'm very tired. I've had a long day today. I trained today and been here for 2 hours, been editing videos, working really hard, man. I hope you guys are really enjoying what I'm putting out there. Hope long may it continue. That you guys continue to enjoy what I'm putting out there. Final couple notes before I get off. As far as content is concerned, I have an interview coming up with Joey Daweko, heavyweight contender / sparring partner for AJ, who's here in Miami. I'm interviewing him soon, so be on the lookout for that. I had a 1 hour and 20-minute interview with Evander Holyfield today about all kinds of things. Some things had nothing to do with boxing, so that should be out within the next couple of weeks because it's gonna take me a while to edit it all. And then what else we got? I'm trying to get something done with Shannon Briggs, but he hasn't showed up to the gym. And I got Stacey McKinley stuff coming out, more stuff with him coming out soon in June. And I don't want to make any promises, but I'm like 40% sure at the moment that I'll be live this week for Anthony Joshua versus Ruiz. So I'm hoping I can be live for that, but I can't give you guys a for sure answer yet. So hopefully we are live for Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz, and should be a fun night of boxing. So hopefully we're live for that. If I do decide to go live for Anthony Joshua for Andy Ruiz, or if I'm able to, I should say, not if I decide to, because I want to do it. I'll also want to let you guys know, particularly for my UK subscribers that love soccer, football, as you guys call it, footy. I'm gonna try to go live for the Champions League final, and we can talk boxing and all that. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Take care, guys. God bless. I'm gonna go take a nap or go to sleep, and just you guys have yourself a blessed day, and just keep supporting True School Sports. And I'm gonna close it out like I close out every single video by simply saying this: make sure you guys hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid.